Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Another Gaming Podcast. And I believe that we are up to episode 11.
Yeah.
Whoa. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Kreis, and joining me, of course, is one of my co-hosts, Steven, the Laggy Gamer.
I'm here and I'm sicker than ever, but I'm ready to go.
And, of course, joining us is our other co-host, I forget his name, Chance.
Wow.
I don't know what the fuck just happened. Like, you know how we
Wow.
talk? No. You know how when you talk, and then all of a sudden, like, the next thing you're getting ready to say, even though it's like, I'm getting ready to say my ABCs, you can't remember, like, what T is after S? That's what just happened to me. Chance, Doom Waves,
What's
the love
going
of my
on?
life.
The love of my life. Aw.
It's been a while. We're a little rusty. It's been a while since last episode.
Hey, I'm not used to this. I took a week and a half off, and I've completely lost my my jib here. Yeah, sorry, Chance. I'm sorry.
It's alright.
And we are joined by no one else. This is a sort of back to basics episode because we had somebody lined up, and unfortunately, the weekend that we were planning on doing this, they had to work. But we will definitely get them the next time.
Definitely.
So anyway, how you guys been?
Chance, how you been? You go ahead and
I've
take
been
it
alright.
first.
I've been alright. Just working a lot, playing some games. Haven't been buying as many, but I suppose that's a good thing. I'm really kind of deciding that maybe that's the way it should go anyway, because I have a lot that I need to finish.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, not doing a whole lot.
Cool. Me, on the other hand, like I said, I am sick, so everyone please bear with me as I have a cold. I'm going to try not to cough that much or anything during this podcast, but other than that, the gaming side of me has been lacking a little, but the television viewing side of me has kicked it up a notch, so hopefully we'll have some game stuff to talk about, but the three of us, I think, have been watching a lot of TV and stuff too lately, too, so you might get some TV stuff going on in this episode. So, yeah.
Well,
Dustin,
How about you, Dustin?
Well, I have been ridiculously busy and sore. Basically, my job is killing me. Between gouging my eye out on a power cord, and now I have, I think I've just pulled a muscle in my back, but my left shoulder is killing me. And then, of course, moving, I just recently moved from my house to my apartment, and doing that, and moving boxes of books. I swear to God, the next time I move, I'm fucking burning every box of books that I have.
having a book burning.
I'm just starting over.
You know what? I'd like to see a yard sale at Dustin's house. I bet you'd be a lot of cool stuff at a yard sale at Dustin's house. At least a lot of good books.
Well, the thing of it is like, the town I moved into, unless, like, my friends came out and, like, bought my stuff, everyone would be like, what is this shit? You know? So, but other than that...
Is this that Star Trek stuff?
What is this Star Trek show? Is this one of them hippie shows? But other than that, I've basically been working, getting Duncan acclimated to the apartment, which he's doing amazingly well. And then after I get that shit done and moving, I just zombie out. I watched the entire season 3 of Star Trek: The Next Generation on Blu-ray, and it's fantastic. I went and saw The Great Gatsby last night. The other night. It was 2 nights ago, actually. It was fantastic. So I've just kind of been lounging around. No gaming. I haven't touched any of my game systems since I moved out of the house. So my Vita's sitting here staring me down saying Persona 4, Persona 4, Persona 4. So
I figured you would have at least been playing, like, maybe that a little bit.
Well, here's the thing of it, is I boxed everything up, and then I got moved in here, and then it was like halfway through the week before I realized, oh shit, my portable systems are still in a box back in the house. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So I had to go back and get those, and then basically work through the other boxes to get to it. So now I have everything. All my gaming stuff is here. So, I'm ready to roll. I'm just waiting for the momentum to hit me. You know.
So how did this whole move go? Like, did you take some time off, or were you working, then going home, moving boxes, going back to work? How was all that going?
How it originally worked was I was planning on moving. Actually, this coming weekend was going to be the weekend to completely move out. all my stuff. And then, I don't know how to talk about this without getting like personal, but when you make the decision to split and then your lives start to deviate and you're living in the same house, it gets tense and sometimes it can get a little bit nasty. And we both kind of realized that. And I was like, all right, I got this apartment lined up. I just need to go before you and I start killing each other.
Make it happen sooner than later, eh?
Yeah, so I contacted my brother, and the original plan was just I've been moving boxes in here because, I mean, if you guys seen the original Game Room tour, you know I have a lot of shit to move in this place.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been just, every time I'd go to work, I would just bring like a carload of boxes, which I was using a O2 Cavalier to move boxes, and moving really teaches you how to pack a Cavalier full of boxes. I was actually able to move a lot of stuff here before the actual real move happened, but then on the weekend of the 4th and 5th, I just moved all of the furniture here, and then there's really only a few things back at the house that I need to move here, just some like random stuff, but it's going to take a couple more trips to get that all done. But yeah, my brother came out, and it took us an hour just to get that couch out of the basement.
Oh, I hate stuff like that.
Oh my god. It was such a game of angles. Like, there's only one angle that couch would go down that staircase. And, like, I tried to make a mental picture of it when we moved it down there the first time. And then when we were moving it out, because I had to go around a U. I don't know if I ever really showed off how the basement was oriented in that house.
It always looked like just a square to me, yeah. Never really
it's a square. And then at the back, you know how you saw like the bookshelves behind me?
Yeah.
If you go to the left, that's like a little mini hallway that dead ends into a U that goes up the stairs.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just because the staircase, when we had the basement unfinished, just came down in the very middle of the basement. And it's like, what weird. The fuck, you know? So yeah, that couch was a beast to get out. Well, we got it out, and I'm here now, and things are getting better. So I'm just waiting to get the itch to start playing a game again.
Have you taken a vacation yet this year? Are you storing it up? I mean, sounds like you need to just take a break, man.
I need to take a break from work so bad, but I mean, I have like over 100 and. Well, the last time I looked at my PTO, I have like 140 hours. I don't know what it's at now. It's some ungodly thing.
Dude, man.
Here's the problem, though. I desperately need to take a vacation, and I'd love to take a staycation, like a week and a half, just completely nothing else to do than just sit around and just play games and veg out. But the way my job is, I'm like one of 4 people that can do my job.
Oh, no. So it's tough to get off once in a while?
Yeah, so of the 4 people that do my job, 2 of us are full-time up in surgery. The other 2 kind of rotate up and help us out. I'm one of the ones that's always up there. So, like, whenever I broach, like, a vacation, my manager's like, oh, well, we're going to have to look at it and all this. And it's just like, fuck it, you know. It's just...
That gets me on this is way off topic from game or anything, but this brought up something that always stirs controversy in my house. And Chance, Dustin, you guys will both know about this. When taking a vacation, I don't know, I would think this is all men probably. For me, when I say I want to take a vacation, if it's going to be a week, I don't care if I go somewhere. It could be to the beach or whatever, but my plan is to relax and have a good time. The wife's plan, or the other half's plan, is let's go to this place so we can do this, and this, and this. Yeah. I'm just like, whoa. My ideal vacation is doing nothing. Like, I want to do nothing. Chance is and Dustin, were your wives the same way? Chance, do you think the same way? Or do you like to actually go places and do a lot of things?
I am right there with you. I can't stand when I'm so much busier on an actual vacation or a day off than I am at work. It's like, geez, I might as well be at work, getting paid and not have to be so damn busy. But yeah, my ideal vacation is a staycation. definitely. And seeing the wife's kind of the same way sometimes. It's almost like we'd like, like one of each in the summertime, like a week or a few days to go somewhere and, and do something nice. And then another week, maybe a couple months later just to chill out at home and do nothing.
How about you, Dustin, back in those olden days when you were married? How did it go with vacations?
I am definitely the type of person that when I take a vacation, I want to relax. And the example is when we went to Canada. And it was nice when we were in Niagara Falls because there's not a lot to do in Niagara Falls. Basically, go see the falls, and then that's kind of it, But once we hit Toronto, we were on a schedule. And if we deviated from that schedule, like, things got seriously fucked. Yeah. And on the one hand, I liked it because I got to see so much of Toronto in like 2.5 days. But on the other hand, like when I came home from that trip, I felt like I needed a vacation to recover from that vacation.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. You want to get home and you want to make sure you have that day off to recuperate before you go back to work. And
like my feet, because we didn't drive at all once we hit Toronto. We just took the subway and the trolleys and things like that and just walked around. And by the end of that trip, my feet, like, I never wanted to walk again. I wanted to get a rascal and just fucking drive around like all these other people. I was done with it.
It's awesome.
And I hate making this part of it too, but another thing that I hate about the busy vacation is the nickel and dime cost of everything.
Yeah.
It's like you go to, 10 different places. Each one of them individual places costs, probably a significant amount of money. So, but, even though you may not spend as much in one place, but you go to 10 of them, it's like you've spent so much money. And like I said, I hate thinking in those terms, but I just think about how much money I would save sitting at home.
Yeah, and from your latest video, you guys are probably planning one hopefully here pretty soon or something?
We actually have one planned. We actually booked our place. We're actually going back to the exact place that we spent our honeymoon. It's actually it's down in the Lake of the Ozarks, southern Missouri, and it's really nice lake. It's a condo right on the lake. It's really nice, and the people actually remembered us. So I don't think we got like a discount or anything like that, but for 3 nights, it's it's not too bad. I don't even remember how much it costs exactly, but it's got a grill and a full kitchen and everything, so you can just bring your own food if you want, which we probably will end up doing because we just like to cook and stuff like that. So it'll be nice. Other than that, though, we don't really have anything major planned. We took a whole week off in June. The week of our anniversary is the 23rd, so we'll be gone like the 18th or the 20th or something like that. And so we'll get to spend a few days at home too, which is nice.
Nice. See, that sounds like an actual relaxing thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're going to be near where there's probably not much to really go out and do anyway, so you get to actually relax.
It's it's really up to you. I mean, what you want to do, because there's a nice strip mall area, and like there's like an iconic dam like walk. There's lots of shops and stuff down there. And, there's like some places to go see shows and stuff. But then it also is a big attraction because it's a nice place to stay, and it's not that far from Branson, Missouri. You guys familiar with Branson, Missouri?
Not. I've heard of the town, but not familiar with like what's in it.
It's just a big hillbilly fest, but it's there's like bluegrass music is real big, and there's just lots of shows and things. There's like a theme park down there. It's just a big touristy town. So like it's not that far from Lake of the Ozarks, so that's why a lot of people stay there or live there. They have a house on the lake, and they can spend a lot of time in Branson. And it's really not that far from Arkansas either. So
well, cool. Yeah. See, I actually get lucky, and with my job, I have to work vacations, holidays. But making up for that, I get a ton of vacation days. I think I'm up to like 33 vacation days now.
Awesome.
That I get to take off a year. And I've kind of worked out a compromise with the wife now. Like, we'll do one for you, then I'll get to do like a big one for me. where I get to do whatever I want, just sitting at home, just sitting in my underwear all day if I want to. That's all I'm doing. And so a lot of times these days, the gamer inside of me, I'm starting to take time off for. I work every weekend, and I never get to go game hunting. That's like one of my favorite things to do. So I've been sporadically placing some days on the weekends here so I can go out to the flea markets and yard sales and be able to gorge on that stuff. A fellow YouTube pal of ours, Devil May Pie, he just recently showed off his yard sale scores to us. I was like, man, it sucks not being able to go out there and do that stuff.
I cringed. It hurt me so bad.
Because do you ever do much yard selling anymore, Dustin, or have you ever done a lot of it, or is that just not something you're into?
When I would always be a ton of yard sales in my neighborhood where my house was, because it was a huge complex, and we would always go around and look at these things. And there was one time, and it was all at the same house, that I actually found something worth getting, and that was when I found the GameCube and the Power Rangers figures and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that pickup video. Yeah.
And that was like the one time. And other than that, like for me, I watch people do like these garage sale videos and stuff, and it's like in thrift stores. I never find anything in a thrift store. I never find anything in a garage sale. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it could be a lot. I think a lot depends on our area. I know, like, I think it's JMDF, the video game sellers. I mean, he's in a high populated, garage sales everywhere area in Atlanta. Retro Liberty. I mean, they're near, just gazores of flea markets and stuff to go to. We're in the middle of Timbuktu, like Chance or me and stuff. There's not much out here to go yard selling at, but we do have a flea market, and that's where I try to get some scores every once in a while, a yard sale. So I know, Chance, for you, there's probably never yard sales, really, or are there actually some in your area?
Well, there is. They're kind of sporadic, though. I mean, in the summertime, you can usually find, but we're talking, I live in a small enough town that on this weekend there might be one yard sale, you know, in the whole town. We're not at all. And but there is like certain weekends there's like citywide sales, where they advertise it in the newspaper and on their local radio station and stuff like that. So, they'll print out like a map in the newspaper, where you can go to all these people's houses, and they kind of coordinate it. So those are kind of nice, because I do live in a small enough area that there's several small towns around here. So we hit up those every now and then. Like last weekend was the one, not in my town, but the town about 12 miles down the road. I found a few things, but nothing like crazy. I got some VHS tapes, of course, because those are really cheap. And I picked up actually Call of Duty Black Ops 2 for the PlayStation 3. I spent a little too much on it. I spent $15 and picked it up, but I figure at the very least, I know I can take it to GameStop and get a good trade in on it.
Yeah, you can still trade in.
Because I already have it on 360, so I mean I don't need another copy of it. So that's why I bought it. It's like, I could probably get at least that at GameStop, hopefully. But I mean, like last summer was the first summer I actually started collecting. I mean, I had lots of video games, but I didn't really collect per se. So I started looking last year, and every now and then I'd find something. Like there was one guy's house where I found a whole box of Sega Genesis stuff, and it was because they asked. I asked if they had any video games, and there's like, yeah, we got a whole box of stuff. So they brought it out, and there was a Model 1 Genesis and a whole bunch of boxed games and a Super Nintendo in there, and it's just a bunch of stuff. And I ended up picking up that for like $30. So I mean, it wasn't crazy awesome. And it's because I didn't keep almost any of it. I traded most of it away. But yeah, every now and then I'll get a nice find.
Well, this actually, we didn't even talk about this, but this is actually provoking a question for me. And we want to get into some viewer questions here in a second, but Chance had mentioned in the video, and I haven't really seen if this is where Dustin's position is yet or not, but Chance mentioned in the video recently that, he's probably going to start selling some of his collection away and only focusing on certain things. I know for myself, I had mentioned to you guys in our little discussion group, I'm thinking of just almost going all Nintendo myself and not worrying about really anything else, because that just seems like the type of stuff that grabs to me the most. What kind of triggered that in you, Chance, to want to move on to doing this now? Is there something that happened or triggered it, like, man, I'm spending too much on games, or are you realizing you're not playing anything you get and you just want to narrow it down?
I think it's really a combination of things. I have a lot of stuff that I don't play, and although I like having it, I have to get realistic and think, okay, am I ever really going to play this? It's certain systems, like for instance the N64. I mean, for a lot of people, there's a lot of really good stuff on there, but for what I have in my possession, there's just nothing for it, for me. But that's just the stuff that I have. Granted, there's some that I want that if I did get, I probably would play. Same with like the Dreamcast. I don't really have much on the Dreamcast that I actually play, so why not try to get rid of it and try to focus more on something that I do want to play? And for me, that's for right now pretty much just the newer gen systems, primarily Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and 3DS. I like having the Wii also, because I really feel like I missed out on a lot of really awesome stuff that came out on the Wii for boycotting it so long. But as far as collecting for the NES, I'm not going to get rid of the stuff that I love. And same with the Super Nintendo. I mean, there's a handful of stuff that I want, but there's lots of stuff available on the Virtual Console. And not that I necessarily condone emulation, but there's that too. And I don't know. Same with like the PlayStation 2, and it's like I have some games that I like, and I probably won't get rid of them. But as far as like actively seeking a lot of PlayStation 2 games and 64 games, I probably won't, be going overboard. But
that's good. It'll probably it sounds like it'll just be a good focus, though. Does it feel like, or Dustin, did any of these ever pop up in you at all, or any type of feeling like this, like, man, I need to just slow down and focus on just certain things, or?
Well, I mean, I have slowed down, but that's more of just because of a reality check.
Yeah. Well, you never really were the just, I'm going to pick this up anyway type of guy from like your pickup spin. You're usually just...
I mean, there was like that picture of that game. I can't remember. I think it was I can't remember if it was Arch or Nellico. No, it wouldn't be Arch or Nellico, because if it was Arch, it was I don't know, one of those weird NIS RPGs that was on the PS2. It was like the collector's edition, had everything, and it was only $16. And I was like, it's cheap, and I was thinking about buying it, and I just left it at the GameStop because I was like, I'll never play it.
Oh yeah, that picture you sent to us. Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the game though, but yeah,
it's like I can almost. It's not Magna Carta. It's
no. It was a PS2, and you had the box. I remember. I cannot remember it.
Yeah, but anyway, like I'm kind of thinking that about my Master System, like. There's some games I really want to get, like, Phantasy Star 1, but at the same time, like, I have Phantasy Star 1 on a Game Boy Advance cart. I have Phantasy Star 1 on the Ultimate Genesis Collection on the Xbox 360. It's like, do I really need to buy the real cart for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I was unboxing everything and putting it back on the shelves, it kind of relit my fire for wanting to get like Saturn imports and PC Engine imports and things like that,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I fluctuate in my stuff, but I don't buy a bunch of stuff just to have it. Basically, everything I buy, I want to play. It's just a matter of will I ever get to it.
Will you ever get to it? Yeah, I think most of the time, if I ever picked up anything I didn't want, it's with a lot that I buy. Say if it's off of Craigslist or something, there's something in there I want, but the other stuff I don't, and I just sell it. And most of the time I make a profit. And I just went through selling like one of my prized possessions in the game collection, the sealed Ninja Gaiden 3, and it felt, man, it was really tough, but not so tough because the amount of money I got for it.
I was going to say.
But it was just... it's that Dustin mentioned this to me a long time ago when I first mentioned I had it, that it's one of those things you're never going to come across again. It's not, unless I want to pay, like, fork out tons of money to get one. I mean, I never see it on eBay. When the guy who actually took mine put it up on eBay, he didn't get as much as I made off of him. but he still got a good amount for it. But it's just, I felt bad letting it go. I mean, so you're not feeling bad about letting any of this stuff go, Chance?
Not really. I got rid of my Master System, actually, but I only had like 3 games. I'm with Dustin. The only reason I wanted it in the first place was to get Phantasy Star 1. That's literally the only reason that I wanted the system.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other RPGs that I might want to play eventually, but it just really wasn't worth the money or the hassle of having the system, especially when I already had the Phantasy Star Collection on Game Boy Advance, which doesn't have Phantasy Star 4. But that's on the Genesis collection, and so it's just one of those things. Like in the Genesis, there's other than the Phantasy Star games and like the Shining Force games, there's really not a whole lot that I want for the Genesis that's not available elsewhere. So I'm kind of trying to get rid of my Genesis too. It's like just one of those things. It's like, and I haven't gotten rid of anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, that I have like an actual attachment to. But yeah, so I mean, as soon as I list this stuff, I'm always like rechecking the list. Okay, do I really want to get rid of that? And,
Yeah.
And kind of re-going through it and kind of making some changes and stuff. And every now and then I just go back and I just kind of reevaluate the games I have and just try to slim it down in favor of other games I really want to play.
I'm going to put you in this situation, Dustin, where you have Panzer Dragoon Saga, but say your copy, say you somehow magically got it for about $200 and it was sealed, and someone offered you, I don't know, $2,000 for it.
Oh, I'd sell it.
You'd sell it because then you can just buy yourself an open copy.
I'd buy myself an open copy and play it. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I I have a sealed copy of Xenoblade right now. If that thing shoots up, I'm fucking selling it. Because that's going to fund something else.
I think it's just going to keep going up. I was trying to tell my wife when I was going through this, debating whether to sell that Ninja Gaiden 3. I'm like, I think it'll go up. Let me hold on to it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's like, how long do you hold on to it,
Exactly. Apparently I did the right thing because the offer I got was, a great offer. And, I'm not ashamed to say it. I'll just tell people I got $650 for that game sealed. And the guy turned around and tried to sell it again online. He actually lives pretty close to me in the same area.
And what did you pay for that? $4?
Yeah, I paid $4.99 at a Salvation Army.
Right. That's kind of like, it's not on the same level, but it's kind of like that chick that paid $250 for a stadium event sealed and sold it for like $20,000.
Oh,
it's
that's
very
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling nonetheless when you're going through it. But when the guy made the offer, it was just something I was like, give me some time to think about it, and I'll let you know. He said, I'll give you 3 hours. He gave me like a 3-hour limit to get back with him. So I talked to the wife about it. I was like, it could go up, and she was like, you better sell that thing. So I went ahead and sold it, and he actually put up on eBay thinking he started off, I think, at like 1,000 was one of his things. And then he tried it again just on an auction. I think he made $290, $280 off of it. So still a lot of money, but he lost big time from what he paid to me. And I don't even know if he sold it to the person afterwards. He probably said, forget this, and kept it in his collection.
Yeah.
But, it was kind of tough letting go. But, yeah, I got my Wii U money sitting on the side, gave half to my other half, and I'm just waiting for a good game to come out for that Wii U to drop this money down on, so... Or a better looking console, like with some more memory space. But anyways, let's move into some questions from our viewers who are subscribed to us and are anxious to ask us questions. We have 4 people who ask questions this time. And we'll start off with Mr. RPG Crazy, who asked the craziest question of the last podcast. And that was, what are your top 5 games of all time? Well, Mr. RPG Crazy, we're not going to answer that today. I'm sorry. I'm planning on doing an episode that'll just talk about our all-time favorite games, just centered around that episode. So just be sure to tune in, man, to that episode, because that'll be a good, just full-length episode on what our favorite games are, and instead of just trying to shoot them out here and fit them into this podcast here. But, you'll know that Resident Evil 2's on mine, and pretty sure Justin will have Final Fantasy 6.
Oh, that game sucks.
And Chance, I'm actually not sure. I'm thinking Doom may be on there, but not sure. But we'll go ahead and just move on to someone else here. Our Anthony is back. Whoops, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his real name, but I just did. Mind Eater 100 from being absent for a little bit. He had some stuff going on, but he had 2 questions for us. First, welcome back, Mind Eater. Good to have you back on the podcast listening. But what long absent RPG franchise needs to return and why? That's his first question. And Dustin, since you are more of the RPG person here, or had more experience than probably me and Chance, why don't you take it first? What do you think?
Well, this I've kind of talked about this before, and this question terrifies me because my answer is and always will be long dead franchise that needs to come back. I think is Lunar, and I mean they keep remaking the games over and over again, but we need a new Lunar, and it needs to be good. That's the thing. Like I want them to make a Lunar 3, but I feel like if it comes out, it's just going to be, it's almost like there's too much hype.
Is it a series that can be continued?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Or would it just be like a spin-off thing that connects, or you think it could actually be a 3?
Here's the issue with Lunar is that all the games are kind of interconnected. I think that if they're going to do a Lunar 3, they either have to think very specifically on how they want to do the storyline, or they just need to go the Final Fantasy Dragon Warrior route, and each one is its own thing.
Yeah.
Which might not be a bad idea, because I feel like if they're trying to shoehorn a new story into the existing story, it might not work. So, I mean, that's my answer, but it kind of scares me to say that. The only other thing I would say is Suicode.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are clamoring for Konami to bring it back.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want that one.
And I mean, I've only played the first 2 games, but those 2 were enough to make me say this is a great RPG series. That unfortunately, this is one of those things that gets cut because of business decisions.
I know for me, I wasn't an RPG gamer back in the day, so as far as a long absent RPG, I'm just not sure. I couldn't pick anything from back in the day because I didn't game like on the Super Nintendo, or even when the PS1 was out. I wasn't a big RPG gamer. But I would just pick one here recently that they made the first game of, and I would love to see continuations and sequels of, and that's the Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans game for the DS. I'd love to see like the next installment into that and play through the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga in this RPG style game that they made for Dragon Ball Z, Monolith Soft, because I really enjoyed it. I know it's not long absent, and I want to say I thought they made a second one for Japan, but it's just not coming over here. But I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And even if it was, I'd probably think about importing it somehow, just because I understand what happens in the show, so I don't need to see the words of what's going on. But that's a recent one, just because, like I said, I haven't played any older RPG franchises. I'm not thick into that, but I really love that DBZ game, and I'm glad that other people are starting to enjoy it too. Like Alex returning Mother Base, he had it in his pickups video recently and said he's been playing it and liking it. So not sure if Dustin got to pop it in yet or not, but it's just an awesome game. I really enjoy it and would love to see more of those. So, Chance, go ahead, man.
I'm sitting here looking at my games, and I'm kind of with you though. I really didn't play very many RPGs when I was younger, so I really can't honestly pick one because I've played so few of them, really. I love RPGs, though, and I don't know. It's just really tough to say. I'm kind of looking at my Zelda Link's Awakening cart, and I know that's not really an RPG, but that's kind of a game that, I really wish that they had, I don't know.
Well, that's a big debate.
Built more on that story, like made a true sequel to it as opposed to just the next Zelda game. Because I know that Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, play a lot similarly, to Link's Awakening, but I mean it's not really the same story. And I don't know, maybe a Final Fantasy X-3 because I hated 2 so much. Maybe it would revive the system from the first one, make it good again, so I can actually stomach it. Other than that, though, I really don't know. Like, I think that's really all I can say.
Well, is Wizards and Warriors a game you play all the time on the NES and RPG?
No, it's just pretty much your just action platformer, and there is 2 sequels to that one. Iron Sword is the first sequel. It's the one with Fabio on the cover.
Yeah.
And then there's Wizards and Warriors 3, but it was just bad. Bad news.
Your 10-2 comment made me realize I'm probably like the only person in the world excited for 13.3. I can't wait for that to come out.
I still gotta finish 13 and play 13.2, so I can't possibly be excited for 13.3 because I have no idea.
I know you enjoyed 13.2, Dustin, but I know they're straying away kind of with this 13.3. So, you have any thoughts on that yet?
I don't know. Like, part of me kind of seems like excited about it, but at the same time, it just seems, I don't know. It just seems like they're going out of their way to make it like, well, let's make it really weird this time. I don't know.
Well, I bought all the first 2 in the $20 bin, and I really enjoyed both of them, especially 13.2. I so wish I had that edition, the collector's edition Dustin has with the soundtrack and all, because I really love the music to that too. But I might be a full pricer on the 13.3.
Yeah, here's the thing though about that soundtrack is, other than like the vocal tracks, it's kind of the same music from the first game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like, other than, like, when you're running around, there's the singing that, Mr. RPG Crazy hated.
Yeah.
It's basically the same music from 13.1, so...
And thanks to Sarah, or Movie Star Kitten, I have that whole soundtrack already, so... Sweet.
There you go. So, other than, like... Which I actually really like the vocal tracks from that soundtrack, so... Except for, like, the metal ones. The metal... Ugh. Metal and RPGs don't go together. Sorry.
Oh, that Blue Dragon theme is awesome. Boss battle music.
You're on drugs. You are on drugs.
I still need to play that too.
Yeah. Wait till you get to that first boss battle, Chance.
Starts yelling at you.
You're gonna cry. As a music lover, you're gonna cry and say, "Fuck this game."
I really want to get the Blue Dragon games for the DS. There's 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
I think one of them is supposed to be like a sequel, and then I have no idea what the other one is.
They're both kind of pseudo sequels.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they play like completely. Like, one is like a tactics type game, and I think the other one's like a RTS.
Ew.
I think the one I have is like the tactics one, but I haven't popped it in yet. So.
Is that Plus?
Yeah, I think I got Plus.
Yeah.
The other one's like Awakening Shadow, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's some kind of weird gameplay style. I don't. I wish they'd make like a Blue Dragon 2 that was an RPG and then really do it right.
I think Monolith Soft did one of them. I think the one I got, though, so kind of happy about that. I think. I'm not sure again.
He thinks he's happy. He doesn't know if he's happy.
Yeah. But Mind Eater, he asked again another question, if we had any views on Iwata becoming CEO of Nintendo of America.
I guess I didn't really pay attention. So is he replacing Reggie then?
No, Reggie still has his position. They just fired the guy who was a CEO. I forget what Reggie's title actually is.
Yeah, I think president, maybe, just president.
Yeah, president of Nintendo America. So this guy just took the old CEO's place.
I would hope that means that, and I think that they've said this, that Nintendo's going to refocus on bringing over Japanese games to these shores, Western shores. Because I think that's the one niche that Nintendo can really lean on, is the fact that they can bring, like, look, it's between them and Sony to bring over the Japanese games. So if you love Japanese games, you're going to get a Nintendo system and you're going to get Sony's system. Yeah. The Xbox is not going to be your system of choice.
Unless you like the new kind of style, like Platinum Games and stuff is doing.
Right, but then you can get that on the PS3 anyway.
Exactly.
So I think Nintendo, they get so much flack for being kind of backwards, but I think in a lot of ways they're trying to find their own niche, and one niche they could have is being the system for us Western gamers that like Japanese games.
Yep. I think what's cool is like when we saw in that Nintendo Rec a while back when they showed the X trailer. Like it's so crazy to think that a game that wasn't even going to come over here, now they're putting in a presser for the U.S. Like,
Yeah.
here we got a sequel coming and you're going to get it, and it's like that's awesome. I can't
And
believe it.
people are going nuts about it. You know.
Yeah. What do you think, Chance? Any views on Iwata becoming the CEO?
I haven't been following it, so I honestly don't know who Owada is, or Uwada, whatever you said.
Do you watch any of the Nintendo Directs or anything?
No.
He's always the guy in that, like, talking to us Japanese guy.
I mean,
Nope.
I kind of hope that it means that like Nintendo of Japan is going to have tighter reins on Nintendo of America, because
Yeah.
I think like I really think Nintendo America has kind of dropped the ball for us in a lot of ways. It's only here recently through certain strong-arming tactics that
Yes.
they've really kind of changed their ways. But I mean, I don't remember even who the fucking CEO was beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, it's always Reggie's face plastered on stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He's a spokesperson. So, and I would always think, like, is he in control of getting us these games over here?
Yeah.
Is this who we need to talk to, or who? So,
Well,
but
that's
now we
something-
know Iwata's the ones. There you go.
Yeah. So hopefully that means that NOA is going to refocus their strategy a little bit, which they need to do, because I guess the Wii U is not doing too hot.
Which, just on the topic of that, real quick, because with next gen just fast approaching now, I kind of, even when the Wii came out, like their strategy I thought was kind of crazy. You got GameCube graphics kind of still for your new console, but I think I really enjoy how their strategy is, where eventually their console is going to be the cheaper console for the consumer. Their games are probably going to be a whole lot cheaper to develop for, so maybe that can lead to maybe eventually more developers making games for the Wii U, because I mean it's going to be cheaper to make a game for and possibly make money.
Yeah, but they're stuck in such a catch-22, because like, okay, let me tell you something. Like, the average teenager right now is not even thinking Wii U. He's
Yeah.
already salivating over the graphics porn of PS4 and the next Xbox.
You're right.
So like, on the one hand, Nintendo needs to move more units to get publishers interested in developing games for it, but people are not going to buy the units until there's games for it. So they're in this weird like limbo with these last. Basically, they've been in this weird limbo since the N64. You know.
I think the other thing is too, what targets the 13-year-old? Is it a game like X? Because it probably isn't.
No.
So it's the Call of Duties and stuff right now these days, and I'm glad that that's not what Nintendo's focus is, which is crazy. I'm glad they're not focusing on that. So, I don't know.
Chance.
But anyways, yeah, Chance, any comments?
No.
I have a dog barking in the background because I'm outside.
I don't know. I hope that Nintendo kind of, we touched on this before. I hope that Nintendo kind of ends up being the one who laughs in the faces of Sony and Microsoft. Because I really want the Wii U to be successful. But at the same time, I hope that that the games that are out for it, can even compare, and even be some of those multi-plat games, and people consider the Wii U as being something that they could play some of these multi-plat games on. Not necessarily Call of Duty and stuff like that, but BioShock, make the Wii U something that could do that in a cool way. Not necessarily BioShock Infinite. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Make what the Wii U can do something that would make you want to play that game on that system as opposed to a different one.
I think what's crazy is from what I've seen of the Wii U, I thought like at least the graphics and stuff looked pretty on it to me. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't even know if a game like BioShock Infinite, I would think it could run on it. I mean, it's supposed to be stronger than a 360, or is it not? But I would hope it can pump out some stuff. But yeah, as far as
I was just using that as an example. I mean, I don't necessarily
yeah.
specifically that, but a game like that come out for the Wii U or for all systems, and you think, oh, I'm going to buy that one on Wii U as opposed to these other two, even if you owned all three. You know what I mean?
I wonder why it's so difficult to do that for, like, I'm picturing PC in my head, and I always just think like a home console is just a PC basically, but I can put different resolutions and graphics types in my PC. Why can't the game just be easily reduced to work on the Wii U? It won't be as pretty as a PS3, but hey, you still do all the same things. It's just lower resolution. It seems like it'd be easy since I could do it on a PC.
Yeah, I don't know how it all works, so
yeah.
I don't try.
Taking that question too far, but thanks for the questions, Mind Eater. It's awesome. We're going to move on to the next one. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's Ktilla23. He had a question for us. Good episode. I have a question for the next podcast. What are your guys' favorite consoles of all time and why? And let's start with, I guess we'll start with me this time. I'm trying to think, what would my favorite consoles of all time be? Well, the Super Nintendo was my first console, but I never had a lot of games for it to be able to claim it as my favorite. So, if I was going to pick a favorite, I'd probably say it would have to be the PlayStation 2. Just because it had such a library of games that you could have shooters, you could have RPGs, you have Japanese games, you have just so much variety there. And also it could play PS1 games, so it's kind of like you're getting 2 for 1. Unless you get the newer or the first launch of PlayStation 3. Other than that, it would be, I'd say that would be one of my favorites. I'm really loving my 3DS just because it can play DS games, and the DS library is amazing. That is a wonderful handheld, and a handheld console to have. And even Game Boy Advance games for Game Boy Advance, that's a wonderful console. So I'll stick with PS2 and Nintendo 3DS because I can play DS games as well. Who wants next?
I can go next. I really can't just pick one. I've got to pick 3. I've got to pick.
He said console, so it's okay. So you
I got to pick a retro, a current gen, or a fairly new gen, and then a handheld. So we're gonna go with the NES, the Xbox 360, and the 3DS, of course. And 3DS for the exact same reasons you just said, because it plays 3DS games and DS games. And I know I haven't had it for very long, but I don't know. There's just so many awesome games after the system, and I have so much love for it. 360, because it's backwards compatible with a lot of Xbox games, and I'm a big Halo fan, big first-person shooter fan, and it's really good for those types of games. And I have a ton of 360 games I absolutely love. And I've just had a lot of fun with the system. It's probably the system, other than the NES, that I've played the most of any. And the NES, for a multitude of reasons. One, some of my very favorite games are on it, and because I have the most nostalgia for it, because it was my first system, of course. It was my dad's, and I spent countless hours watching him play it. And then as I grew up, I graduated to playing it, and so just pretty simple, I guess.
Cool, all good systems. I'd say I play my 360 a lot too, more than that, more than most probably as well. So it's just a controller thing for that one. But I'm actually working up my PS3 library now, and since I let my gold expire, I was like, I'm gonna just let this expire. It's kind of nice having the PS3, and I'm getting to see what this free online is all about, and not having to pay for it. And it's been kind of nice. I got the Netflix subscription, and I went to watch it on the Xbox 360 the other day, and it said I had to have a gold subscription.
Yeah, which I think is the stupidest thing ever. It's like I don't even understand why they let you have the silver subscription. What is it even good for? I mean, because you
download games that you have to pay money for.
It's like you can't even do anything with it other than spend money. I mean, that's it. I mean, you can see what your friends are playing. I mean, that's it. But anyway, sorry.
I hooked that PS3 up back to the big TV, took it out the game room, and said Netflix play, and it played without paying anything. So, But what about you, Dustin? Favorite consoles other than Super Nintendo? No.
Oh, damn you. Well,
No, you could
okay, I'm gonna do what Chance did, and I'm gonna say retro. I'm going to say Super Nintendo. Modern day console, I'm gonna go with the Wii, and handheld, I'm actually gonna go with the Vita.
Wow.
And now
No,
I'm
you're
gonna.
not. That's
now-
lies. No,
No,
you're
it's not. No, I'm going to, because here's why. Okay, I'll start with the Vita since you're saying lies.
I stopped listening. It's too late.
Shut the fuck up.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I think, without a doubt, if you look at a console on the basis of the library alone, 3DS is going to beat the shit out of Vita.
Sure. I see where you're going now. Go ahead.
But the Vita has so much untapped potential. And I feel like, in a lot of ways, we know what to expect out of the 3DS. Because when you really boil the 3DS down, it's just a more powerful DS. You know? The 3D gimmick, I'm sorry, it's kind of over and done with, as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really hook me into anything anymore. In fact, I don't even turn it on anymore. So really, it's just like taking what was a great console already, which is the DS, and just beefing up the power, which is basically what, normal consoles do anyway.
Yeah.
There's no real innovation with it or anything like that. And in that regard, it's an amazing system, but it's also kind of more of the same. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like the first time I booted up the Vita and was playing on the Vita, it felt like something completely new. And I know you can make the argument it's just a more powerful PSP, but I feel like the PSP, like the DS, felt complete in a lot of ways. Like, you're like, oh my god, this is like the perfect portable system. Whereas the PSP still had a lot of growing pains. And I feel like now with the Vita, like the PSP's been kind of perfected in a way.
Yeah.
So I love the Vita as a system. I just think Sony has its head up its ass. And I'm hoping that once they release the PS4 and the Vita is supposed to be integrated with the PS4, they'll start focusing on it a little bit more. Although I don't know why they're not focusing on it now to get it into people's hands, and then say, oh, well, if you buy a PS4, you get to do all this great stuff with it, because you're thinking about buying a PS4 anyway. So it's just, I think that the leadership of Sony is kind of failing the system.
Well, yeah, just for no other reason than just the sheer popularity of the 3DS.
Right.
Look how many of those things are sold, There's no reason that Sony couldn't make the Vita a very, successful handheld, because people obviously want handhelds.
Yeah, they need to drop the fucking price. I mean, that's what's stopping a lot of people from getting it, is that $250 price tag. And of course, you can buy one used for a lot cheaper, but then you run the risk of buying a used system, especially a used modern system, which I think are a lot more finicky than older systems.
Well, I don't know what it was, but I tell you what it was. It was when the 3DS originally came out, and I heard about the 3D. That really did blow my mind the first time I heard about it. So that's what made me get it on launch day and purchase the $250 price tag it had.
Yeah.
When the Vita was coming around, it was priced at $299, just $50 more. But I don't know, just nothing was saying to me, buy me, because I don't know, it just was not jumping out. When Nintendo mentioned the 3D, I mean, that's what sold me. Even though, I don't use it as much these days, but I don't regret the purchase at all, because it's a fantastic handheld. And again, the Vita I got for free, so I mean, that's awesome at its own point.
I don't know what it is about 3D, but 3D has never been a selling point for me. Like, I just saw Gatsby, and I saw the 2D version. I didn't see the 3D version.
I was going to ask how the 3D was in it.
How would that enhance that movie?
Well,
it had a lot of color and stuff, so it probably would have been pretty trippy.
Yeah, go see it. Go see it, especially during... I could see where the 3D is going to be amazing, especially during Gatsby's party when there's, like, fireworks and confetti everywhere. Later on, when it gets more into the actual meat and potatoes of the story, I wouldn't see how it'd help much, except with like the camera movement, the CG camera movements. But that party at Gatsby's has to be like amazing to watch in 3D. But I just couldn't do it.
And that Vita was a good response, because, like you said, just taking it from the console perspective, that is a powerful
I mean,
handheld in your hands.
there is no reason other than Sony's complete mishandling of it why the Vita should not be. I don't want to say overtaking the 3DS, but at least giving it a good gut punch every now and then.
Sometimes that's one of the things I wish we had an answer to. Like, we could just ask them, like, Sony, like, where are you guys wanting games for this thing? Where are they at? Or are they being made? What is going on?
It almost feels like they made the system just to be a tax write-off, you know?
And I don't want it to be a thing like you were mentioning the PS4. I hope it'll be able to push more sales to get more games, but I don't want it just to be my controller for my PS4. Yeah. Nothing, hopefully. I still want this to be my portable handheld where I'm playing awesome games that came on the PSP. I mean, I'm imagining all these beautiful RPGs that would look wonderful on this handheld. But again, it's short right now in its life. I mean, it's a year and a half or so. I don't know how long it's been, but it's only been just that long. I'm sure we got plenty of time to get stuff over here. I just really wish there was something now. Ys is coming. It is coming. It is
coming.
The clock is ticking down. So
I need to play an Ys game. Seriously,
you need to.
I need to find the ones on the PSP because I think that'll kind of catch me up.
Oh yeah,
but
they're normally pretty easy to find at all my GameStops, but just not with the boxes.
Yeah. But as for my other two systems, I think the Wii has a lot more charm to it than the Xbox. And
ton of hidden gems. And the thing of it is like I don't really feel a difference between the PS3 and the Xbox all that much. Whereas I feel like with the Wii, you truly do get kind of a different experience. And then the Super Nintendo, while not my first system, it was what really, like, I fell in love with video gaming with the Super Nintendo, so that will always be my nostalgic pick for favorite system of all time. Awesome. Well, good answers all around. And moving on to the final question, which was one I thought was very intriguing, was from Sporadic Spacebar. Newer YouTuber, go check him out if you guys haven't yet. But what is the longest gaming session you've ever had? Short breaks are included. And what game or games did you play? And Dustin, since you did answer this before in another one, you can go ahead and just tell everyone again what that was.
Yeah, very briefly. When I was young, we went to Blockbuster, and on a Friday, I rented Chrono Trigger. I only took breaks to sleep, eat, and not even really eat because I would just get my food and take it back up to play the game. So basically just sleep and use the restroom, and then I beat the game in one weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was 3 days. I got Friday afternoon, and then I had to be back at school Monday morning. So in those, basically 2.5 days. In those 2.5 days, I beat the game.
Oh, did you say you slept? You said you did sleep?
I did sleep.
I don't think it counts then.
Why?
Because you only get a short break, not a sleep. Well, even if you played all day, that's still 12, 15 hours in a day that you played games.
Yeah, come on.
So yeah, Jesus. You get it. It counts. Because mine isn't even that long. I was going to say the longest gaming session that I've had would have been, there were those Halo 2 nights when I first got it, where I would play from 9 p.m., and before I know it, it'd be 4 in the morning, where we're just sitting online, just hanging out, just having fun, not even playing in multiplayer against other teams, but just goofing around with each other. Like Halo 2 had the super bounces and stuff you could do in them. We just always just had fun clowning around in that game. But one gaming session that I will always remember is a World of Warcraft session in Wrath of the Lich King, Naxxramas, a dungeon run. I got invited to a 25-man raid, and this was on a work night, nonetheless. It was about 10 o'clock at night when this raid started, but I was so excited that I finally got to go to one, because anyone knows anything about WoW, the cap limit was 80. I had just hit 80. I didn't really have a lot of good gear, and they just wanted someone to come fill out the group. And I told them, hey, I'm not really geared for this, but they let me come anyway. The first couple bosses go down, and I get pieces of gear off of all of them. I'm slowly becoming one of the lowest geared players on the game to one of the highest. And by the time we were done with the dungeon, I was tiered out in my tier gear. I was only missing a helmet to fill out a tier suit, which it's a shoulder, chest, legs, and boots. I had the best weapon you could get in the game at the time for my character. I got all these drops from this one dungeon run, but the session lasted from 10 o'clock that night till about 5:30 that morning. I had to be at work at 7. So I just stayed up. Yeah, that was the longest I've ever put into a game that hurt the most afterwards because I had to go to work the next day. But luckily I had some friends at work who played WoW, and I was so excited to go and show them, like, look at my character now, and how I was just all beefed out in my armor sexiness. Oh, it was amazing. Anyways, now that MMO has come out of me, go ahead, Chance.
I don't actually remember any specifics. I know I've spent a lot of 5-6 hour sessions. I would actually the only game that I can remember is not wanting to go to bed and having to make myself stop was the first time I played Final Fantasy X. I can remember probably I got it over like Christmas vacation from school, and I can remember staying up till like 5 in the morning playing and then going to sleep and getting up and playing again, all day. So, yeah, I would have to say that was probably the one. But like I said, I don't remember any specifics.
Sweet. That's cool, though. I know just another session I had, which was kind of crazy. One Christmas, the Christmas that the Spider-Man DVD came out with Tobey Maguire, the first one. I think I watched that movie 4 times that day, so I had a session with that on Christmas Day with the first Spider-Man movie.
Well, I watched all the Lord of the Rings in one day. Before.
I did that too. Yeah,
that was kind of crazy. It
now wait,
at like noon.
At least they're different movies, though. I watched the same one 4 times in a row.
But Chance, did you watch the extended editions or the original edition?
No, just the regular. I didn't have the extended, so
I got you beat.
Yeah, mine doesn't count then compared to yours. That would be awesome, though. I started at like 12, and I think I ended at like 10 that night.
You get like 2/3 of the way through 2 towers, and you start questioning everything about your life.
Yeah, 2 towers is always kind of tough for me to get through anyway. I think the last time I watched it, I didn't mind it so much. But yeah, I can remember early on, like the first couple of times I'd seen it, being just bored as shit during some parts. But see, I've always liked Fellowship, and some people say the same thing about it. Some people say that it's like the worst one. It's like, well, no, I really liked Fellowship. I'd say my favorite's probably still Return of the King, but I don't know. I really shouldn't pick favorites because they're all awesome.
That scene on the top of Mina's Tirith where he's like, "My friends, no one bows to you," or whatever he says.
Yeah,
my! Every time you're just like, "Oh,
dude, I just bawled." Yeah, I just bawled. Oh man, and I still haven't seen The Hobbit. Damn it! I own it even. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought that like a while back, man.
I bought it day one when it came out on Blu-ray DVD, and I bought the combo pack that had like a special edition art book, like a Walmart exclusive or some shit like that. And I was very excited. Then I went back. I was there again for some reason the next day, and there was like an $8 price drop. I was so pissed. I was like, oh my god! I spent like $40 on it.
It's nothing compared to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Martin Freeman does a great job, so I enjoy watching like anything he's in now. But yeah, that was the question segment. Thanks everyone who asked a question. We really appreciate it. Continue to ask us some because we enjoy answering them. And if you guys want to answer the questions we just had too, just leave it in the comments. What your favorite consoles and such are all time or gaming sessions, that'd be awesome to hear. Or your thoughts on anything else we discussed so far with like the collecting thing. Is that something maybe anyone else is struggling with? I know Ari Lewis had that video a while back now. So is anyone else trying to rethink their collecting ways or anything? So just let us know in the comments and be sure to ask us more questions. So where do we want to go next, guys? You want to talk about what y'all been playing or viewing, or should we get into a little topic here?
I care not.
Do you care, Dustin?
Flip a coin, I don't care.
I say since, let's go ahead and go into our topic about one that Chance brought up here, because Dustin did go through his big move and everything with having to resort a game collection and tote it out, move it around. I just went through reorganizing my whole game collection And what did you specifically want to know, Chance? Just how people kind of catalog everything? Why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
Well, it's just something that I personally spend an awful lot of time doing. I have several Word documents, my inventory, all the games that I own, and I also have a running list, of games that I've beaten and stuff like that, and maybe I'm a little OCD about it. I don't know. And then of course I've got a list of games that I'm looking for, and I occasionally when I know I'm going to be going game shopping, I kind of condense it a little bit, and then I'll email it to my phone. So, because it never fails when I'm at a game store, browsing, I always forget specifics that I'm looking for. I can't think of it. It's like, son of a bitch, why can't I think of this? But then there's obviously, the ones that you'll see with your own eyes, like, oh yeah, I want that. But also, how do you have things displayed? I know there's a lot of people that don't believe in alphabetizing the games. They just throw them up on the shelf, in whatever order they fall in, and they just go back and eyeball it. And some people organize by box color, which seems really strange to me, but I mean, hey, whatever. I mean, it's your collection. And that's primarily for older Atari games and Intellivision games, because they all came in different colored boxes and stuff. Sort obviously by collection, or do you sort by company? Like Microsoft, you have all your Xbox and 360 games, and your Xbox games beside it. GameCube, Wii. How anal are you with your collection? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Did I lose everyone?
Steven,
sorry, I was on mute. And I was talking.
I really did think, I was like, oh shit, I lost everyone. How long have I been talking to myself?
I've gone into this void where I don't know how much time has passed.
I was saying, Dustin, how about you take it? And then I didn't hear him. I was like, yeah, I'm on mute. So.
Because you're on mute.
Yeah.
What's going to be really funny is, because I truncate the silences on this podcast, it's going to sound like Chance asked his question, and then instantly we're like, oh, that was a long silence.
You should leave the silence for that one then. Just so
but I have to go in and individually find it and then leave it. It's such a pain.
Oh, so your program actually will pick the dead air? And
yeah, it'll just recognize the dead air and just take it out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's why the podcast always sounds more fluid than what it actually is. I'm actually... the question was how anal we are with the alphabetizing and things like that.
Well, yeah, and how do you keep track? Do you have lists?
For a long time, I kept a list on Excel, and then when I got my iPad, I remember hearing somebody talk about how you could take pictures of the UPCs and enter your stuff that way. So I started looking online for, or not online, on the App Store for some good archiving programs, and for some reason I eventually went with, I think it's, hold on one second, it's called My Stuff 2, and it actually works really well for me. Of course, with if you have a box Super Nintendo game, it'll still recognize that UPC on there. But for a lot of games, when you scan the UPC, it automatically puts in the title, it puts in the developer, it puts in the system, and it brings up a picture of the box art. So really, aside from some other stuff that you can add, I added genre and whether I finished the game or not, then boxes and manuals and that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
And I can add that in. You can add in your own fields to make it more personalized to your stuff. And I found that has worked really well. But the unfortunate thing is, after one of my big pickups, I just completely forgot to start scanning stuff in. And then I had to go back through and try to figure out what I needed to scan in. But the great thing about it is, it's hard to describe when I don't have a picture of it for you guys to look at. But, everything's sorted by the system, and you can go in and filter out things. If I just want to look at my Super Nintendo games, I'll just, go to the filter, type in Super Nintendo, and it'll bring up my list of Super Nintendo games. If I just want to look at my Ys games, I'll just go to the filter, type in Ys, and it'll bring up all my Ys games. If I want to just look at Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior, I can do a filter for that. So it helps out a lot when you just want to look at either a series or just a system itself. Because, when you get, I think I have upwards of, 700 games, which is not a lot comparatively to, some of the other YouTubers out there.
Yeah.
I just lost my train of thought. But, even then, the list can get a little bit daunting to look at, especially, when I was using Excel, it was getting a lot to look at. And but this is making things a lot easier, so I would say that. Now, when I put things on the shelf, I'm still trying to get the game room. I'm still trying to figure out how I want it organized.
Are you having shelving space issues, or do you actually have a good amount of space? You're just trying to figure out how you want to kind of position it all.
I have a good amount of space because two of the shelving units that I'm trying to think. They're smaller black shelvings. My PS1 games were on one. I still haven't moved those to this apartment yet. I have all my games out, so I still have a lot of room to put stuff out. I just don't have rooms for those shelving units in a game room yet. But I think I'm going to put them in the closet, and then just I haven't figured that quite out yet. But I like to keep them in alphabetical order. And I'm pretty adamant about that because it just makes it easier to find my system by alphabetical order. So that's fine.
I know for me, when I was doing my little rearrangement in my game room, and like you were saying earlier, just rearranging the stuff for my room, it kind of just looking at all the games again and be like, man, this is kind of cool that I've gathered what I've gotten, and it kind of kindles you a little bit this is pretty cool. And I liked sorting everything out. Of course, it took a all-day duty to do that, and but it was time well spent putting it all together, and I thought it turned out pretty good. I know for me, as far as when I was putting it all together again, a space for me it's weird. I don't want to buy a whole brand new bookshelf and it only be half full. I only want to buy it when I'm going to be able to fill up the whole thing, which can make things difficult because, well, the stuff that can take up half the bookcase needs a place to go, and it doesn't have a home or a place to sit right now. So on my new bookshelf, I actually have where the shelf everything's on. There are games actually behind some of the games until I'm ready to say, okay, I can warrant getting another bookshelf now and filling everything on there. That's just an anal thing I have. I just don't want a shelf to look empty, or I don't want to have to put things on it just to make it look like it has something on it. I don't know. Are you guys the same way with that, or do you don't mind looking at an empty shelf?
Actually, the way I have it organized now, I have a couple empty slots, and I don't mind that because I know it's just space that I can grow into.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't mind empty shelves at all. I actually can't stand the thought of having to put one game behind the other, so I couldn't see it. I don't know why. That's just where my OCD comes in, I guess. I want to be able to see what I have, just at a glance, and not have to pull games out to look at what's behind it. I've got a nice multimedia shelf that's perfect size for DVD cases, Xbox cases, and stuff like that. Then right beside it, I have an actual bookshelf, and I don't like using it as well because if you push stuff all the way to the back, it's really dark and it's hard to see, especially on the bottom shelves, the bottom two shelves. And then it's then you have to get down there and okay, what's down here? And you can't really see in there. And then also, it lends itself to being able to put games, too deep. But it's just I don't want to do that. So because we used to put our DVDs on bookshelves, and that was the worst thing ever to try and figure out what movie to watch. It's holy shit, I have to spend an hour shifting DVD stacks to figure out what's behind there, just in case we want to watch one of those. So it's nice that we found these nice multimedia shelves.
Yeah, I just put all my DVDs and Blu-rays in a cupboard shelf. They're layered 3 and 4 rows back.
Oh, I couldn't deal with that.
That would drive me nuts.
I have all the Blu-rays in front because I really don't go back to the old DVDs anymore, and I'm really good at as far as cataloging. I know everything I have, so if I know that I want to watch, say I have Shaun of the Dead on regular DVD, but not Blu-ray. I know exactly where it's at in that shelf, and I know how to get to it. I don't know, I'm really good at that. So, and like Dustin was saying, I think my collection is maybe 300 to 400 games, and I just know what I have, so I don't need a list or anything for it. If I'm out shopping, I don't get confused on what I have or anything. But I am getting hooked now on wanting to keep a list of the games that I did beat, because there are times that I have forgotten that I have beaten a game. Kingdom Hearts being one of them. I could not remember for the life of me if I actually beat the game or not. And I was like, what do I do? Do I look up a video of the ending to realize that I did, or what? So I actually did look up. I was like, oh yeah, I remember fighting that boss. So I'm starting to keep a list of that just to make sure I know I beat the game. And I know that sounds bad. How do you remember every game you had, but not if you've beaten it or not?
See, that's why I really like Backloggery. I'm using that now. And it's like you just type in. It takes a while to like put in your games because you do have to like manually type them in. You know, it's not like you select them from a list or whatever. So it's a good like showcase of your collection, and it's online. So I mean, you know, you can, you know, I link it, you know, in my videos and on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. And you can put on there. I mean, there's the option of, you know, is it an unfinished game, an unplayed game, or have you beaten it, or have you completed it? So like then you can go back and look, kind of like you were saying, Dustin, with that pro software you were talking about. Like I can just click on Super Nintendo, and it's got every game that I have for the Super Nintendo, and then whether I've beaten it or whether I haven't even put it in and played it yet. So that's kind of a cool thing, you know, especially, you know, if you are trying to focus on like a backlog challenge kind of a thing, because then you can shows, you know, it's got like a now playing, you know, thing, shows what you're playing, and when you beat a game, it sends out a little, you know, update to the people that you're, you know, linked to and stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool little website that I've been using. But what I really want to do is I really want to find one for movies. I haven't found one yet, and I might look into what you have, Dustin.
Yeah, because it does movies, it does books.
Yeah, because I have an iPhone. I don't have an iPad, but maybe I can power through on the iPhone. It wouldn't probably.
I think it works for the iPhones as well.
Because I have such a massive VHS collection now, and we already had a massive DVD collection. Our Blu-ray collection is pretty sad because we didn't have a Blu-ray player until I just got a PS3 just like a couple of months ago. So we really don't have that many Blu-rays. But yeah, I've got you know, my movie collection easily dwarfs my video game collection.
Now, let me ask you this: did you get the Abrams Trek on Blu-ray?
No, because I bought it. Probably three years ago, like right after it came out, really. There was a video store closing, and I just bought it on whim, actually, because I was with a buddy of mine who says, dude, this is really good, you need to get it. I was like, okay, because it was like $3 or something like that, because the store was getting ready to close, and I literally just watched it for the first time, like
that's gonna be something.
weekend.
That's gonna be something you want to upgrade.
Yeah, definitely, and I totally agree with you, and especially because actually there was a couple of parts that I might have missed because like my Xbox said attempting to read media, and I was like, oh shit. So like in the bar scene, like towards the beginning, like when he gets into the fight with those dudes and Pike like talks to him, I missed the whole conversation between him and Pike.
That's like one of the most important parts of the movie.
Wow,
okay, well, I pretty much figured out what happened, obviously, but I missed that entire conversation, and I was like, son of a bitch. And I thought about like taking it out and like trying to clean off the disc and, you know, seeing if I can go back and replay it, but I said screw it, and I watched it. And seriously, I text you like right after I got done with it, I think, Dustin. I actually had like an emotional like movement within me when I watched that movie.
That first 10 minutes of that film was like,
man.
Jesus, stop it.
I wasn't even, you know, like a very big Star Trek fan. I kind of like the original series, but I'll be damned if I'm not a Trekkie now, because I am like making it my goal to watch like every episode of the show and you know, buy all of the major motion pictures. Yeah.
Hey, to some people, you saying you like that new movie You may not be a Trekkie.
I know, see, but I'm into the whole. Like, I really am so intrigued by the whole lore of it. You know, everything, not just this new universe. You know, not just the high action. You know, movie with these new characters and stuff like that. Because, like I said, I mean, I know that I like the original series. I've seen, you know, over a dozen episodes. You know, of the beginning of the series. I started that about a year ago, you know, because a good friend of mine was insisting that I watch it. You know, I did get kind of into it, but it's just one of those things. I just got busy doing other things, just haven't gone back to it. Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But
are you still watching that? Or you made it to the?
I haven't made it any further, honestly. But it's one of those things. It's like, God, if I just had like 10 more hours in a day or something.
I'm telling you what, guys. When Deep Space Nine starts coming out on Blu-ray, that you need to buy that.
I have it on my Quay list in Netflix now, so it's on the Quay.
Yeah, I need to watch that one too.
Yeah, but or the Q, yeah.
There you go.
But I like to call it Instant Quay. That's what I say.
Instant Quay.
Sounds like what's it on Jerry Maguire? What is that? Quan. When he's there in the locker room and he's talking to Jerry Maguire, "You're my brother of Quad." You know what I'm talking about? Am I just like, anybody seen this movie?
It's been a while. I like the movie, but I forget to see.
Well, it's when they're in the locker room and that dude from Scrubs is sitting there bare-assed. Or no, it's not Scrubs. It's Cuba Gooding Jr. Never mind.
Yeah.
I get those guys mixed up. I don't even know what they're talking about exactly.
Okay, if you're getting ready to talk about money and one man showing this money to another man, then I will understand what you're talking about in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
No, it's not that part. Ambassador of Quan, that's it. Sorry. Tangent. Like at the very end of the movie when he's sitting there in the chair and he's crying because he got the deal that he wanted. It's like, Jerry Maguire, I love you. You're my ambassador of Quan.
No, we're moving on. We know.
I guess I'm the only one that actually watched that movie, apparently.
But I was gonna say when you mentioned Star Trek, though, the only thing I didn't like in that movie, which I don't know if Dustin meant when he was like he just couldn't the first 10 minutes. The first few minutes with the whole wrecking of the ship and stuff was awesome. But when it was a scene when he was a kid, I hated that scene with the whole car.
Driving car.
Yeah.
With Beastie Boys playing, it didn't fit to me. I was like, why is this here?
Funny.
There's actually a few things, and like the more I watch it, the more I realize this film, like, it really rushes everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still really enjoy it, but I'm hoping that Into Darkness is a lot better.
It already seems, just on the outside, like a completely different kind of movie.
Well, it's the thing that they run into every time with like prequel films. They have to fill so much into the film. Like, in all honesty, though, we really didn't need to see Kirk wreck the car, and we really didn't need to see. Maybe we needed to see Spock as a little kid, but
and I needed to see the green alien chick in her bra and panties.
See, that's the thing too. Like, people are making a big deal about, like, in that film, Uhura takes her clothes off and she's in her underwear, and that girl's in there, and then the next one, Alice Eve, is like in her bra and panties, and everyone's like, "This isn't the Star Trek I know. Why are these women being sexy?" Go back and watch the original series. Like, women are always almost bare naked in that show.
Yeah, I just watched the episode not too long ago, Mud's Women.
Yeah.
It's like, that whole episode is about, like, using, like, a sex appeal to get what you want.
Exactly.
I mean, the whole episode is based on that.
And even, like, the modern shows, like, I've been watching Next Generation, and I'm sorry, I love Deanna Sirtis, however you say her name, but, I'm sorry, or not Marta Sirius, but Deanna Troi is just there so you look at her boobs the entire time. That's the only purpose for the character.
And I was gonna say, is when we were talking about Star Trek, and then I mentioned something earlier with Shaun of the Dead. Did anyone see the World's End trailer with Edgar Wright back, the director of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, teaming back up with Simon Pegg and them?
And that's the third part of the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy.
Oh, I cannot wait!
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
I think this one's going to have. Let's see. I think this one's going to have the red cornettos in it.
It's got Martin Freeman in it, so that's an awesome thing.
Yeah. How can you have a British movie nowadays without Martin Freeman? See, that's the thing. That's the thing I love about this is like I remember back when the UK Office first came out in like 2001 or something, and watching that and being like, this Martin Freeman guy is awesome. And then Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy came out, and I was like, this Martin Freeman guy is awesome. And it's like 10 years later, now everyone's catching up to it.
Hitchhiker's Guide might go down to like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I just know some people hate the crap out of that movie.
I wish they would have made more.
Never seen it.
I mean, I wish they would have made the entire series. That would have been awesome.
Geez. It is hilarious, man. The having a thought getting slapped in the face scene had me in tears the first time I watched it. But anyways, I mean, since we're talking about TV, this could be like a little transition to what we've been viewing. If we just want to go ahead and talk about that.
I was just getting ready to ask you what the fuck we were talking about before.
Organization.
Organization.
Like we were talking about. I was talking about backloggery, and then
we're so disorganized. We just
DVDs and Blu-rays, and then you asked me about Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what it is. We need to figure out some kind of organization for the podcast.
Let's go ahead and talk about what we've been watching since we've been talking about this stuff. So I know, Dustin, with the move and stuff, you've probably been watching a lot of TV since you ain't playing no games, right?
I have been watching a lot of stuff, yeah.
What's been on the top of the list up there? What have you been watching?
Well, the top of the list has been Season 3 of The Next Generation on Blu-ray. And I'm telling you what, you guys, if you have any interest in Star Trek, just go out and buy The Next Generation on Blu-ray. Because unlike... Like, the original series has a lot of fun watching it on Blu-ray because you can see the makeup lines, and you can see the zippers on the alien costumes and that kind of stuff. But, like, the Next Generation Blu-rays, I mean, it looks like it was filmed yesterday. Aside from, like, hairdos and things like that. I mean, it's that pristine. And it's not like the original series, they went back in, and instead of having, like, the ship, the models, they redid all the ship stuff with CG and stuff like that. And it looks really good. Don't get me wrong. It looks really good. But with the Next Generation, it's still the original model shots because they were shot in such a way that they can go back in and redo the special effects because it's something to do with how the camera passes over the models and all that kind of stuff. But I watched that, and Season 3 is when the Next Generation gets really good, and it was really a blast to watch that and then watch the bonus features. Especially the one with the writers talking about just the experience on the show. That was really awesome.
Cool.
Northern Exposure, still watching that. Watching the rest of the Season 7, Part 2 of Doctor Who.
I don't think the viewers knew you were watching Northern Exposure, so... Yeah, Dustin's watching that.
Yeah, I talked about it in one of my pickups videos about how I was...
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. And... As Season 7, Part 2 of Doctor Who goes on, the whole thing with Season 7 is they're basing like every episode on like a blockbuster type movie or like a blockbuster theme. Like, you know, I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling some of the storylines, but they're like these big plot-filled stories, and I feel like we're losing the characterizations of, especially the companions like Clara. I really liked her when the season started out. Now I'm kind of like, I just don't know her. And after having characters like Rose and Donna and the Pawns, it's kind of like, who the fuck is this girl and why should I care?
So you're all the way caught up with that now, and you're watching the new season, right?
Right, yeah. And in a lot of ways, I'm kind of getting a little disappointed with it. But I'm going to stick with it because I love how Matt Smith plays the Doctor. I love the goofiness of him. Even though I kind of really miss the darkness of both Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant. But then I've been watching Season 6 of Mad Men, and it's still as good as ever. And I had a kind of a mind-blowing experience because in the new season, not to ruin anything for guys, but Don Draper is once again having an affair. And the woman he's having an affair with, I kept looking at her going, I know this girl. Who is this woman? And it wasn't until I was looking at People magazine yesterday at work, and they did an interview with the actress who plays the woman. I was like, holy fucking shit, it's Linda Cardinelli. And it blew my mind because like she's almost unrecognizable with her 60s wig, and she has a mole on her face and stuff like that. It's not like a ugly mole, like a Marilyn Monroe beauty mark mole. So that was kind of a mind-blowing experience. But other than that, I just started watching the IT Crowd again, and it's still as funny as the first time I watched it. So
Now, Mad Men isn't a show I've ever watched or anything about. Well, what's that like? The plot of it?
um, set in the 1960s, it's about the inner workings of an ad agency, but it goes a lot deeper than that. In a lot of ways, it's kind of almost the 6 feet under of the current generation of television. Even though I still think 6 feet under cuts closer to the bone, I think Mad Men examines humanity in such a way that sometimes it's hard to watch but it always kind of rings true. It's filled with deeply flawed characters, and I don't really know how to talk more about it without kind of ruining some plot points. But
Okay,
it follows this guy named Don Draper, who is sort of one of the top dogs at this ad agency. And of course, throughout the years, they have their ups and downs and things like that. But I don't know. For some reason, I really love the show.
cool. Well, I guess if Chance, you want to go next, you want me to tackle it?
Oh, I can go next. I don't have too awful much. I don't watch a ton of TV. I wish I would watch more shows on Netflix and stuff because there's so much I need to catch up on. But it's always a coin toss whether I want to play a game or watch a show. Because a lot of times the wife and I watch TV together, and she doesn't always like the same things. Let me rephrase it. She never likes the same things that I do. So we tend to watch a lot of stuff together, and we are big fans of this new Hannibal show that's on NBC right now. I think they're doing a fantastic job with it, actually. They're taking it... are either one of you guys watched it at all?
I've seen a little bit of it, and they're taking the backstory of Red Dragon, doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're kind of taking liberties with it too. I mean, they're changing stuff a little bit, but not really. Some of the character interaction between Hannibal Lecter and Will Graham are already happening that happened in Red Dragon and stuff like that. But I think that the guy that plays Hannibal Lecter is hitting the nail on the head.
I love that guy.
But I will say one criticism I have, and it's such a slight criticism, is he's got such a thick accent that he's hard to understand sometimes for me. And that that's just a personal preference thing. But I think if he does a fantastic job in every other aspect of that show. He's so creepy and so intelligent, and I don't know, it's just fantastic. And I think that the actor that plays Will Graham too, I can't remember his name, but he stars in one of my very favorite movies, Adam. You seen that movie? Adam. He plays a guy with Asperger's syndrome that he basically falls in love. It's actually really good. Check it out if you ever see it on or something like that, or on Netflix. I don't think it's on Netflix, but if it's ever on there and you see it, watch it because it's good. But I think he's done such a really good job too of playing Will Graham, and it's kind of making Will Graham kind of crazy almost. He's not so level-headed like in Red Dragon, played by Edward Norton.
Oh, did you ever read the book?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I need to, I think.
Yeah, he's a little crazy in the book.
Okay, well, I should check it out then, because Edward Norton really didn't come off that way at all.
He shouldn't be as crazy as he is in the TV series right now, because what happens, which, if you've seen Red Dragon, you know what happens to him eventually.
Yeah.
What's eventually going to happen to him. That's what tips him over the edge.
Yeah.
So he really shouldn't be as crazy in the TV series as he is right now.
Right, but he is kind of nutso. But I don't know. I'm actually a little surprised at how much kind of gore almost that they're showing on NBC. And
that's what really surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful because it's a good show and I like it a lot. I'm just a little surprised. Like, wow, this is really on NBC. It's more like something you'd see on like AMC or HBO or something like that. But it's good, huh?
Because I was going to say that because there was some stuff that like even Dexter didn't do.
Yeah. Like
there was this thing where it's like it was in the preview, like the Red Band preview. It seemed like they were flaying skin, and like it looked like ridiculous. And
Yeah, there was actually one scene in one of the very first episodes. I think it was either episode 2 or episode 3, where you actually like see Hannibal Lecter like cutting up human lungs to cook.
Huh.
I mean, it's just like, oh my god, really? They're showing this on TV on NBC? I was actually kind of shocked, but in a good way, I guess. It's a good show. Another show, we actually watched the whole thing of Hemlock Grove on Netflix. It's one of those Netflix originals. It's your vampire show, but at the same time, you're not really sure what's going on. You kind of know, but you don't know what's going on. It reminds me a lot of like True Blood, but with a lot less love story kind of thing. It's pretty serious, I guess. I kind of hope that they do another season of it. I think there's like 13 episodes. We watched the whole thing. I mean, it's a short watch, really. There's a lot. Everybody drinks, everybody smokes, everybody's snorting cocaine the whole time. I mean, so it's a real wholesome family viewing.
Yeah.
But,
as far as I'm concerned, there's only one vampire TV show, and that show is Steven.
Supernatural.
You fucking loser.
You know what's funny?
Buffy
I actually was at my
Vampire
mom's house today, and I was looking through her VHS and DVD collection to see if I wanted to watch anything. And she has like the first 6 seasons. How many seasons is there of Buffy?
I think
7.
Okay, I think she has like the first 6 at least.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like, well, I've always kind of hated the show, but maybe I should watch it again.
Yeah.
I only hated it because it was like on all the time, and it's like
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
it's such a strong word. Such a great show.
I'm sure it is. It's just one of those things. Like, as a younger person, I did not want to watch that.
Season
So,
one, season one's probably not going to make you a believer, but once you get to season 2, oh,
Yeah, I might check it out eventually, but not right now. Too many other things to watch. We already talked about Abrams' Star Trek. I just watched that first time the other day. Fantastic. Loved every moment of it. And I had to talk about this one a little bit. I talk about it quite a bit in my my pickups video that's coming. I got to record another segment of it because I'm waiting on a package. But it's a movie I picked up VHS. I picked it up on a whim because it was like 25 cents or something like that. And the cover, it reminds me of like an 80s animated space kind of movie. So I went in and bought it. I was like, whatever, it can't be that bad. It might be fun to watch. And I put it in. It's called Star Force. I put it in, and it's a live-action Japanese space movie based on a TV show. I forget what the name of the show is. Fugitive Alien. That's what it is. It's based on this Japanese show, Fugitive Alien. And it's basically like Godzilla meets Star Trek / Star Wars. I mean, it's when I say Godzilla, it's because it's got the really like awesome acting of the Japanese cast and that horrible English dub. And as lame as it was, the story was actually pretty good. Like, it's hard to describe. Basically, there is this elite crew of people. Not really elite. Unlikely is what the box says. Because each person has their own personality trait that makes them part of this group, special skills, blah blah blah. So they're flying to this planet in search of the bad guy to find this secret weapon that is capable of destroying a planet or something like that. So they have to get there, destroy the weapon, get in, get out, that kind of thing. And it was just really a lot of fun, surprisingly. I watched it last night.
What decade was this made in?
It was made in, well, the box says 1986.
Okay. There's something about, like, 70s to 80s Japanese live-action shows that I just find amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this was just really good.
Yeah, like, because I have this show called Red Baron on DVD. I found it at half-price books for like $3. And it's like one of those giant robots, kind of like Power Rangers. How, Angel Grove was always attacked by these monsters, and the Megazord had always destroyed buildings, but somehow the town still survived.
Yeah.
Kind of that type of thing. And then there's this Mystery Science Theater episode called Time of the Apes, where it's basically a takeoff of Planet of the Apes. And there's just something about like the 70s, how they used like miniatures, and they didn't care that you could see like those strings and all that shit. They just, there's something so charming about it.
Yeah. Who was the guy that did like Sinbad? Didn't he just die recently? Oh, my mom was telling me about it today because we were talking about kind of quirky, movies from the 70s. I can't remember.
Sinbad?
Yeah, the original Sinbad movie.
I don't
Sure.
remember that.
Like the stop action filming.
Oh, Ray Harryhausen.
That's it.
Yeah,
he just passed away, I think.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about like an actor who played Sinbad.
No.
Yeah,
Just
that-
the
that's-
guy who made the movies.
Yeah, but the thing about Harryhausen's work is it still kind of stands up.
Yeah. I really need to go back and watch. I remember watching Sinbad when I was a kid and not being really into it, but I need to go watch it again. I've got a stack of about 20 VHS tapes sitting beside me here that I just picked up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you never did tell me how that the VHS haul went.
Well, there was no Star Trek, unfortunately. And really, I mean, actually, there was not a whole lot. It was at my local library, and they were just kind of purging.
Bunch of documentaries and
Dude, there was like a whole table of documentaries, and when I say documentary, I mean they're like how to play bridge and stuff like that. I was like, man, that sucks. But there was a couple of tables that had some good stuff. I picked up a few decent titles. I picked up Land of the Lost,
which will be all visible in your next pickup video.
Yeah, Land of the Lost was kind of a highlight.
See how was it, is that the Will Ferrell one?
No,
they
it's
wouldn't put that on VHS.
Sid and Marty Krofft, like the one from the
Yeah.
70s or 80s or whatever it is.
I just remember the TV series, and that's
I
it.
remember the
from the 90s.
Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
But
None of
I picked up
those.
a whole bunch of VHS. Really, nothing spectacular, but a couple that I'm pretty excited to have. And yes, indeed, check out my video.
Yeah, I didn't want to I don't want you to think I'm silencing you, but I didn't want to.
Oh no,
I
it's
didn't-
cool.
I didn't want you to blow your load. Well, I heard
Thanks
on
for
the podcast. What do I need to watch this pickup video for?
Well, yeah, and because that's most of it too. I got some books and a couple other items, but really, it's mostly VHS, which is kind of lame. But
No, I think you're one of the few people out there that still buy VHS. Or something.
well, I don't know. It's like I still have a VCR, and they're dirt cheap, and it's like, okay, it still works,
Yeah.
Freaking cartridges!
I think my thing is I'm so used to like widescreen now that if I had to go back to like full frame, I would just it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? That's all I got. Steven, you're next.
All right, let me get a cough out the way.
Okay.
All right. What have
That
I
was a
been?
very quiet cough.
It was a
Must have-
muted cough. I hit
You know,
mute every
here's
time
the
I
thing
cough.
though, it's going to truncate that silence. So you're going to be like, okay, let me get this cough out of the way. All right, here we go.
Or did he say that's a quiet cough first? So it'll be weird either way.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see. What have I been viewing? There's been one show since I got the Netflix. Like I mentioned, Supernatural just earlier. I had watched all the way up to season 5, and I love that show. It's probably my favorite show on right now, even over Walking Dead. I'm not caught up yet, but it's so much better than what I'm in season 6. I think they're up to season 8 right now. I'm loving every second of it. I just got Netflix. I'm on the trial. I got it 3 days ago, and I'm already like 13 episodes into it because I've been knocking them out hardcore. Other than that, let's see, some Walker Texas Ranger anytime it comes on.
Oh Jesus.
I'm sitting in front of it, watching it.
I'm very Chuck Norris of you, Steven.
Oh yeah, I love some Walker. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's any movies that came out. I got movie night ruined for Iron Man 3. We were going to go with another couple, but the other half of the couple, my friend's wife, she's on a diet. She didn't want to go to this place, to the movies, and be wanting to be like tempted by popcorn or anything. So she said, I'll be off my diet in 2 weeks and we'll go again. Turns out 3 days later, she went to see the movie and told her husband, let's go. So I was like, what in the world? Like, you ruined our movie plans and you wouldn't go see it anyway? So didn't get to see Iron Man 3 yet. Or Great Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
Wife really want. I mean, I really wanted to see that, but the wife didn't.
Oh,
So, but apparently, like Dustin said, it's not it doesn't portray women in a good light. So maybe it's
well,
probably why
actually,
she wants to see it.
no, the book doesn't. The film actually does a better job.
It does that because she's going off the book. Like she remembers the book
Yeah.
too. She's like,
The
I don't know if I want to see that.
The film is a lot more sympathetic to Daisy than the book is.
Okay,
So,
so maybe I can get her, maybe talk her into going to see it.
yeah.
But man, I'm trying to think. Other than I want to say I know I've watched a lot, but I know there was a movie I watched, but I can't remember because I don't know. I've been really busy at work, and I've actually been going to the gym to work out a lot more often, and that means I don't get home till 6 o'clock after getting off of work at 3. So days are shorter, and I'm getting tired quicker. I've been going to bed at like 9:30 some nights. So like Dustin, that day he went to bed at 7 after he got hit in the eye. I'm getting old, man, and I just want to lay down sometimes and not do anything. But that's about it. I can't remember. I want to say I started watching some Star Trek, but not from season 1. There was some episodes coming on TV that I caught wind of, and now that I got Netflix, that's in my quay. Deep Space Nine's in my quay.
Well, that's,
Or,
I mean,
sorry, Q. It's in my queue.
that's the great thing though about like the original series and Next Generation is that you don't really have to watch them in order.
Yeah. Oh,
Deep
really?
Deep Space Nine you do,
okay.
but like
Tempted to jump ahead to Deep Space Nine because you said it's so good,
Yeah.
and kind of not deal with Next Generation quite
Well-
yet, or should I back and forth them, or what?
here's the thing. Deep Space Nine is more of what people expect from TV nowadays. It's more serialized,
Okay.
where it tells a beginning, middle, and end story. Whereas the original series and Next Generation are more episodic. And that's kind of what a big criticism that's labeled towards Next Generation is at the end of each episode, it's like the reset button is hit, and these guys just go on their way. You know?
Okay.
But,
I want to say one episode that was sticking out to me, which I guess is kind of like that, was Worf. Is that the guy I'm getting right?
the
Is that his
Klingon.
name? Yeah, the Klingon. He, I don't know what was going on, but they were caught in this kind of like time loop where he was remembering things, and then something would be different the next second. There'd be a different picture on the wall or something. Then he was married to the girl you were talking about
Yeah.
all of a sudden, and I mean, it's just a crazy episode, but like you said, it was like its own thing. It starts the beginning at the end, it's all finished, and they move on their way.
Yeah.
So, but still, it was such an awesome episode. I was like, this is awesome. Like, why didn't I watch this
Yeah.
when I was younger? But just debating whether to go between which one to start now, that or Deep Space Nine.
Did you guys ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Okay.
I didn't watch it while it was on TV. It was already out, but my friend had all the DVDs.
Yeah.
I want to say it took me about a month, but I knocked out all of them in about a month.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that while I was on TV, and let me tell you, each week was excruciating.
Oh, I couldn't imagine watching that every week. I would have been on my chair like, no, where's the next episode?
The hour can't be over yet. And then the season, like, the biggest thing was the season 3 cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I gotta wait all summer?
That's why I'm so glad I had a friend who had DVDs, and he's actually going to give me those DVDs because he has the Blu-rays now. Yeah. He got them for his birthday, so that's pretty cool. I'll have all those on DVD. But yeah, other than that, just been watching a lot of Bubble Guppies and Team Umizoomi because that's what the boy wants to watch. So that's what gets to go on TV.
Wait,
but since I have Netflix now, I have Batman Beyond in the queue and Ultimate Spider-Man because I heard those are two good cartoons.
Did you ever watch the original animated series?
No, I never watched any of those, like the superhero ones.
Yeah, you need to watch like the original animated series, like Batman the animated series. I don't remember. It starts getting kind of not bad, but it starts to kind of lose its focus. Like when it changes to like the Batman and Robin adventures or something like that. Mm-hmm. When they bring Robin into it, that's when it starts to kind of slide, as Batman usually does. Whenever Robin gets brought in, and kind of just like, well, whatever. But
they do have like that Netflix Kids tab now. Like when I first started up, and when I went to that one, it did have a Batman animated series. So I guess that's a good one for him to watch. It didn't have Batman Beyond in there, but it had the Batman animated.
Yeah, Batman Beyond's a little bit darker, especially when you get to Return of the Joker.
See, I want to watch that though, so I mean, I want to keep it in there.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But other than that, yeah, I've just been playing a couple games. If we just want to tap into those, since where we at in our time limit here?
We are at 153.
I know on my wife's clock I'm already pushing over my limit, but let's. We want to talk about games we've been playing then,
Sure.
and I'll go ahead and go into mine since I'm already talking because we were talking about marathon quests, and I actually marathon gaming sessions, and I actually pulled one today while I was at work, and I knocked out the last 6 chapters in Fire Emblem Awakening and beat that game today. So,
And what'd you think? What'd you think of the ending?
I really can I say anything?
I wouldn't say like spoilers.
Yeah,
but, like just your
I really-
general thoughts.
I think it was cool because it could maybe be a part 2 because of the character.
Yeah.
I don't know to see what kind of happened, but the ending boss battle was a little disappointing because it's kind of
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I was playing the game in easy mode anyway, like on casual, so
Oh.
the whole game kind of felt
Yeah.
easy altogether for me. And I felt like most battles you could just take Crom and just kill everyone with him if you wanted. But actually, my favorite character wound up being Donnell or Donald, and close second would be Gaius. He was my second favorite character, and anytime I would try to, it was pretty cool. I always want to like have one of those guys be the last one to kill like the boss at the end of each board.
Oh man, I had my avatar kill the last one.
Oh, you always had your avatar
Yeah.
doing it. He was. I didn't like him as a. Did you keep him a spellcaster?
I used him more as a melee character, but
Yeah.
I kept the magic in case I needed to have a ranged character where he was at.
I kept him as pretty much a magic, and he was Grandmaster Magic. I didn't max him out. He got all the way up to 3rd level of 19, so I had one more to go before they maxed him. But he was powerful with his magic. If he got you in his sights, you were almost one shot every time. But just Donnell was just. I think my ranking score for him, where they had the little like a score for how your characters are leveled up. I think it starts off in the low, like 30s or something, maybe when you start the game. He was all the way up in the 280s by the time I was done with him, while the rest of them were sitting at 160 or 150, just because he could level up so good. He was just a beast of a character. But really enjoyed the game. The game's paced well out. Like I said, I played on casual, so when I died, I didn't have to reset, so that saved me a lot of time from people who played on the normal mode, which I can see how I would have had to reset so many times. But I did go through the battles kind of carelessly, knowing like, hey, I'm not going to lose this person forever anyway, so I'm just going to keep going. But really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So highly recommend that game. Haven't done a video on it. Don't know if I will or not since I'm talking about it here, but I might as well. I might just do a roundup of stuff I've beaten. But other than Fire Emblem, I played a free-to-download MMO, Neverwinter. For some reason, I got an email from them saying, hey, you can download the game now and play it. I was like, I never knew I registered to play this game. But it is an awesome... See, I've been trying to find... I'm not really on the lookout for an MMO to play, but it said that this is a free game, 100%. You won't have to pay for anything because everything's free to play these days, MMOs. And this is based in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. So they release it, I download it, and I am loving it. It's just pretty much an action RPG. I want to say probably battle combat system. I haven't played Witcher 2, but I want to say it would be like that. I want to say it would maybe be like that, but more. It's just tough to pin it. But it's like an action RPG where if you want to play with a mouse and keyboard, that's perfectly fine. But I actually programmed it for a controller to work, and it feels so comfortable because there's basically only 5 attacks you're using in the game, and then I mapped the D-pad out for potions and stuff, and controlling the character and everything with the controller. So for anyone who's afraid of a mouse and keyboard but wants to get into an MMO, you can definitely play this game because I just used X-Pattern and mapped out the keys, and it's making it that much more fun for me because I hate playing mouse and keyboard. But like I said, yeah, it is free to play. Everything in it and it is a beautiful game. So you will kind of need a not like a newer-ish computer to kind of play it. My friend has a computer that's about 4 years old. It's slugging on. So, but it is a fun game. It is free. The only slight downside is there is a pay. I don't want to say a pay-to-win system to it, but there is a, how would I put it, pay for convenience system set in place, because there is a money system in it with these astral diamonds, which you can get by clearing dungeons and all sorts of stuff in it. You can get these diamonds in the game easily, but they do offer you the ability to actually buy these diamonds to spend on gear and stuff, but they're not cheap. You're going to be paying a lot of money if you want to go that route, and you'll be putting a lot of money into a game. So anyone who does that is going to be rich and is just going to be wasting their money. So go on and do it if you want. But I think about 95% of the players on this aren't going to do that. So it will stay kind of balanced out for anyone who cares about anyone getting too much gear or something. And they also do have founder packs that if you actually purchase like a $200 founder pack for the game, you get exclusive mounts and stuff like that that no one can get. But that's nothing that can affect your gameplay. So really cool if you're into MMOs and Dungeons and Dragons Universe. Give it a look. Just Google it and you can download it. Other than that, downloaded the Soul Sacrifice demo, and that was a game I was really looking forward to. But after playing the demo, it just didn't hook me like I thought it would. So I didn't wind up picking that up. Other than that, any other games? I know I beat Pandora's Tower, did the video on that. It's been so long since the last podcast, I can't remember what else I've been playing. But I want to say that's it. That's all I've been playing, because I really started hammering down on Fire Emblem Awakening the past couple weeks, and then finally just beating it today, just knocking it out. And oh yeah, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon might be my game of the year. That's all I have to say about it right now. Because of its 80s retro amazingness. I'm just loving it. So anyways, I'll pass it on to Chance.
Did you not play that Freelancer game very much?
I actually didn't. Yeah, I had my buddy started a server for Freelancer, old school PC game, if anyone remembers. And it's just pretty much a space shooter where you're just going on these missions. It's either bounty hunting mission, killing more ships, or fetch some items type of mission. And it's really cool because you can just set up an online server, and we could just all play together all the time and go on missions all the time. But when we played it, I played it up because you do get levels in the game, and your level is based on how much money you made and ship and everything. It's a real dynamic, intricate universe you're in, and the travel system and everything's really crazy. But he wanted to download a mod for it that let us get more ships and stuff, so I stopped playing it until that mod got put in. But yeah, Freelancer, if anyone's played it, we probably will start it back up, but now that I've downloaded Neverwinter, I don't know if I'll play Freelancer. And Chance, you didn't get on, so that broke my heart, and that's why I didn't play either.
Yeah.
But if you say your computer can't run it, that's a lie. I know it can run that game.
Okay, well, here in my defense, here I had to like burn some sort of CD in order to play it, and I don't have a CD burner, so.
No, you can map an ISO image, man.
Okay, I can't remember the last time I even cared or knew how to map an ISO.
It's all good.
But anyway,
you got to say though, my buddy did have some pretty good like detailed instructions.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
On how to get that game.
I will never deny that. There was a README file that had everything you could possibly want to know. It was very informative.
But it is a fun game, and if we ever do get really heavy into it and anyone wants to play with us, just message me and let me know. I'll tell you how to get on. We got some really good directions on how to do it.
Yeah, I looked up some YouTube footage. It did look like a pretty cool game. I just never did move forward with it. But I did play a crap ton of other games, and Steven's given me strict instructions to not name too many of them. So I'll just go ahead and just briefly mention the ones that I beat, and then talk about a couple of them. Since the last podcast, that's kind of, I guess, the timeline that I'm working with here. I did beat Heretic, very early id game, using the Doom engine. It's basically like medieval Doom. It's pretty fun. I beat the first Quake.
Is it a shooter or like medieval, like you're going around with an axe or something?
No, it is medieval, but you have a staff that shoots. So it is still a first-person shooter, and you have like these magic wands, and like there's like different wands, and they each have like a different pattern and effectiveness. It basically matches up with the guns on Doom. The higher level or the higher number, the more effective it is, and that sort of thing. It's really hard. Huh?
Isn't your melee in that like you swing a mace at them?
No, actually, the melee was like a gauntlet type of thing that like a Star Wars electrocute you kind of a thing.
Maybe I'm thinking Hexen then.
Yeah, and Hexen, which I'll talk about in a minute. There's one of the character classes you can choose where that's the weapon you have.
Okay.
I played first Quake. I played it on PC. I guess I played Heretic on PC too. I think that's the only console it's out for. I don't think it came to any consoles that I know of other than PC. I beat first Quake on PC, and it's interesting because I'm looking back now, and I beat it without any music, and I don't know why it didn't have any music, but it was quiet the whole time, and it kind of made it pretty eerie. I did like it a lot, but I couldn't get used to just the brown, nasty looking. Every color was brown. It wasn't that great to look at. But Quake 2, I played that one also. I played it on the Xbox 360 actually. Loved it. Fantastic. Improved everything that I didn't like about the first one. I beat Enemy Territory Quake Wars, like an objective-based first-person shooter on 360. Pretty fun. It would be more fun if there was like a lot of people online playing it, but there's not.
Servers are still up on it?
Yeah.
Cool.
When I first got it about a year ago, I played a little bit, and there was a couple of people in there. But, yeah, I haven't been able to get on since then. I did beat Halo 3 also. Loved it. Fantastic. I'm a Halo fanboy. But, yeah, it was really a lot of fun. I can't believe I waited so long. I keep saying that about all the Halo games. But it's just taking me forever to get through them.
And he probably has something really cool to show off in his next Pickles video to go with that.
It's a good possibility.
Yeah.
But I say that, but I've beaten, like 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 6 or 7. I don't know. Halo games in the past, 6 months. And as far as games that I played but haven't beat, I started Pandora's Tower, of course. I made it through like the first 4 towers. I'm actually in the 4th tower, and I kind of put it down. I just wasn't in the mood for it, I guess. I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it eventually. I just wasn't in the mood to play that kind of game, and so I put it down. I found myself questioning, why am I playing this game? And I was just like. I was trying to just pound through it, so we could talk about it on a podcast or something like that. But then it just dawned on me, it's like, you know what? That's absolutely not what this is about. So I just put it down, let it rest, and just, whatever. I also started Etrian Odyssey 3 for the DS. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's really hard, but I knew that going into it. I'm taking a break from it right now, too, because I was playing a different game on the DS. Which I actually beat. I guess I should have mentioned Code of Princess. I did a video about it, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but I had a lot of fun with it. I'm actually still not ready to be done with that game. I'm still looking forward to playing it some more and maxing out a couple more characters. But
watching your vid made me remember how much fun I had with that, and especially playing online with it with Dustin, and really getting me excited for Dragon's Crown. Now that's the next one I'm getting super hyped for. It's kind of like the same kind of combat system, only deeper. So you remember lack of moves in Code of Princess? Looks like Dragon's Crown is gonna take care of that problem.
Yeah,
and bigger boobs.
Oh yeah, way bigger.
The lack of moves wasn't like a big deal. I just I just, for some reason, I just thought when they give you like a command list, that pops up on the bottom screen, I thought that for sure that meant that there was going to be more. Like that there was going to be like ones that you learned along the way that like added to it. It's like, well, no. You don't really need a command list after like the 5th or 6th mission because you pretty much remember how to do those moves. But I did beat it with Solange. Playing through it, I'm about level, I don't know, like 18 or 20 or something with Allie. And I like her a lot too. So I'm actually looking forward to, maxing her out and checking, seeing how easy it is to beat the last boss with her as opposed to Solange.
Sister Hell. That's the way to go.
Well, can she play the campaign though? I know she play like the free play and the
free play.
When you start doing the bonus quests.
Yeah, definitely. I played her a little bit, and she's got that strong attack. It's badass.
Didn't you work her up pretty high, Dustin? And we're supposed to go back to try to beat those bosses. We couldn't.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm ready to go since we got a 3rd player now. Anytime we want to try.
All right.
Well, I'm ready to go.
Okay. A game I should have beaten, but I didn't. Dissidia. I put it down. Don't know why. Just kind of got stuck and just. I knew that there was going to be a lot of grinding, a lot of grinding involved, and I don't know. I just got tired of it, I guess. But I'll pick it back up. Briefly, Portrait of Ruin, Castlevania. Started that. Played about 5.5 hours of it. Love it. It's great. Dust and Elysian Tale. I picked that back up recently. Actually, just a couple of days ago. I don't even know why I started it back up, but I was kind of stuck when I had stopped playing it before, and I couldn't figure out why I was stuck. Because as soon as I started it back up, I was like, okay, this is where I need to go. So I'm back into that now, and it's a lot of fun.
Did Portrait of Ruin have backtrack in it, or it's just like left to right?
No, it's
type gameplay.
You're going all over this castle looking for portraits, paintings that are hanging on the wall, and like you go into the paintings, and then like you fight the bosses inside the paintings.
Okay.
So like you have to go all over the castle and look for these paintings, and it's kind of crazy. I've only found 2 of them, and I'm trying to find the 3rd one right now, and it's not going well. So, but it's a lot of fun though. I like the RPG elements, like leveling up, so you get stronger, and you can equip lots of different weapons and lots of the magic weapons, like the ones that you throw and stuff like that. There's a ton of different, and you have a partner with you, and you can either call her in, and she'll like run behind you, and like when you attack something, she'll attack also, or you can just not have her with you and run solo, and like you can do like triple jumps, like you can jump off the top of her head, and then do a double jump. So there's a lot of times where it comes in handy.
Anytime something just has an RPG element to it, just makes it that much more better for me. So
yeah, it was. I like it. I mean, because a lot of the older Castlevanias are so hard, because it's like you never really get any stronger necessarily. The levels themselves get harder, and the enemies get harder, but you never really get much better.
Yeah.
Your weapon does, obviously, but not always you. But it's fun. I like it. I'm borrowing that from Haas. He brought it over one day, and I just started playing it not too long ago.
Cool.
Halo 4 multiplayer, playing that quite a bit. I also started playing the campaign with a buddy of mine from YouTube, Pierce Jedi. Him and I started playing that co-op a little bit, but I'm not very far into it. And then, lastly, Hexen for the PC, sequel to Heretic. I'm playing as I forget what the character class is. It's like a mage, I think. It's the only one of the 3 characters that starts out with a projectile weapon. You have a magic wand that shoots, and it's infinite ammo. Like there is no ammo to it. So it's good for those beginning stages of Hexen that are pretty tough before you find more weapons, so you can stay away. You can keep your distance from enemies and kind of take them out before they become a problem. So having a lot of fun with that too. That's about it.
Cool. Awesome stuff. How far? I know you said you're about 5 hours into Portrait of Ruin. Is it? I'm guessing like a 10-hour game then.
I really don't know because I've spent a lot of time kind of grinding because I inadvertently grinding because I wasn't really sure where I was supposed to go and I hadn't looked up a game fact or anything like that. So I was just like running around trying to find where I was supposed to go and just kind of leveling up and going back to save spots that I knew where they were. And there's kind of like a hub system too, like you can transport to different parts of the castle, like wherever you are, because like the bottom screen has just the map that you've unlocked, the areas that you've been to, and it's got you can see like highlighted, I think it's blue, each spot where there's one of these like teleporter things that you can go to different parts of the castle, and you pick up random, or not random, but like skills, much like other Castlevania games where you have to get a skill to obtain a skill to get to a certain area, like the ability to like slide on the ground or push an object, things like that. Like
Okay.
it's nice to kind of remember where that stuff is, so you can actually just take the transporter and then you don't have to walk near as far to get to where you're going. But yeah,
Sweet. Well, Dustin, is there anything you could add to the games you've been playing recently?
Well, I haven't played anything in about a week and a half.
Okay.
Period. But before that, I was playing Pandora's Tower, and while I feel like the game, this is one of those few games I feel like it could be shorter. Like it just kind of becomes a little bit of a slog as it moves on. Especially like I was talking to you guys earlier, I got to the tower where you had to unlock 4 chains. And I was like, fuck this, I'm going to put this down for a while. And then Steven had the audacity to say, whoa, you get to a later one, you have 6 chains. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So it is,
Yeah.
but at the same time I say this, I'm very happy this game came over. So, I don't want to, like, just knock it down off a pedestal. It's just that when I was playing it, like, there was a day where I beat, like, 5 towers in a row in one day. And, like, there's a lot that goes into beating each of these towers, and it just got to be a little bit too much. So, eventually I'm going to get back to that, and then I'm really looking forward to getting back to The Witcher 2 and Persona 4 Golden, because there's just something about Persona 4, I can see why it elicits the kind of reactions that it does out of people, and why a lot of people say it's their favorite RPG. I can see that because it's so different than what you expect from other RPGs, and really unique. So really looking forward to getting back to that. And Steven, did you play The Witcher 1?
I tried to on PC, but
Okay.
hated the controls.
But
so
and you have not played Witcher 2?
have not, no.
Okay. When you get Witcher 2 on the 360, you are going to love it. It is fantastic.
I know I will. It's just I keep trying to find a copy with the book now, and now I can't find it anywhere when it was
Yeah.
everywhere. So
That's really been it. I'm really looking forward to, because like my days off, like tomorrow I have a day off, but I have to go back to the house and mow the yard and pack up more boxes. So eventually, when I get to the point, I'm going to start gaming here pretty soon again. But eventually, when I get to the point where my days off are truly days off, then I'll start really knocking stuff out.
I know I was talking with one of my videos about the gaming funk. It was tough to find something to get out of it, and then when plugging in Fire Emblem and getting out of it, it's kind of like once you do finally find that game, or you get the time to sit down and actually play something, and it's good, that's what'll help bring you out of it. So I'm ready to move on to the next one. So I'm sure when you get a chance, you'll just be able to probably put in Persona 4 again and just be able to get back into the gaming mood. But understandable with all that's going on that I just need to take a break from gaming. So, but cool deal. Anything else anyone like to add to this 11th episode now that we're going into middle school? We got our new backpack and stuff. We graduated from elementary.
I forgot
got my
to mention
Trappa Keepa.
Trappa Keepa. I always
Trapper keep a homing device.
I forgot to mention I beat Super Mario Brothers for the first time ever.
Oh
first
yeah, I
one.
saw that picture and I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, I never beat it before. That was the first time. I was like, holy crap. But you know what? I attribute it to one thing. Save states. I beat it on the 3DS. I bought it on the eShop, and it allows you to create a restore point. I would not have beat it without that. I mean, that's totally cheating, I know, but dang. Some of those later levels are pretty haggard. Especially, like, the last castles. Like, how the heck are you supposed to just know where to go? But anyway.
That's the way it was,
like,
Chance.
That's the way, yeah, like the one with the, it had the 3 different levels or paths, and you have to pick which path to go or what kind of reset.
That's the 7th one. The 8th one
Okay.
is just like, there's like just a bunch of the pipes, and you have to pick the right one to go down. Otherwise, because if you just keep running to the right, it's just an infinite hallway of pipes.
Yeah, I remember now.
But you know what drives me nuts about that game is that how long has it been out, and it's still $5 on the eShop? It's like, come on, let that be a freebie. One freebie, Nintendo. One.
Mine was free from Nintendo.
Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Ambassador, man.
You spent more on your system, though.
I did. He spent like almost less than half of the cost, more than half actually. What was he getting? $100 Chance? What'd you get it for?
I got $100.
Yeah,
$100 on it.
he beat
But-
me there.
Yeah, I don't know though. I guess I can almost understand it on other games like Zelda, I guess, because I got that one too. But for some reason, it just feels like a total ripoff. $5 for Mario. I still bought it. I mean, I can't say much. I paid for it. I bought it, but yeah, whatever.
Well, since you mentioned that, I did plug up the NES, and not for me to play it, but I did just want to see. I know my son's he's only 2.5 years old. I was like, I'm gonna put in Mario. Let's see how it goes. And it was a lot of just standing still, pushing the jump button.
Well,
But he loved it.
I saw something on, and this is going to make me sound like a complete girl, but I saw something on Pinterest where, like, dads will give their kids controllers, and then they'll play the game, but the kid's thinking that they're playing the game.
Yeah.
I
That's what you
eventually did do that. I plugged
Okay.
in the second controller and gave it to him like he was playing. Then I started playing, and he was having a blast. He loves Mario. I started decking out his room with Mario stuff right
That's
now
awesome.
to get him started, and so it was pretty cool watching him try to play through it. And there was a time where he did jump on a Goomba all by
Ooh.
himself, so I was pretty proud of him.
It's awesome.
But
You
You know what's
Steven,
crazy? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Steven, did you trade in your 3DS for the XL?
I sold my original
Okay.
one on Craigslist to get more money,
Oh.
so I could buy the new one.
What did you even offer it to GameStop to see what they were giving for it?
I called them and they said they were giving like $40, and I said no. So I sold it for I think $150 is what I got for it.
Okay.
And yeah, so paid about $50 I believe, and got the XL the same day. And I didn't have to do a system transfer. I think I just got to re-download all my stuff off of it remembered from my account what I had to download.
if you transfer everything to the SD card, should it just...
Oh, that's what I said I did. That's what I did before I got the system. Because it just takes any SD card, so I just made sure it was all on the SD card and switched it out and put it in the other one.
I kind of been thinking about upgrading.
You want that pretty Animal Crossing one with all the
Yeah, I do.
that one does look kind of bad. So, I mean, I'm loving it. I love the screen on it. Fire Emblem look awesome. I wish it had more of those beautiful anime cutscenes that really did good with the 3D.
Yeah.
Not too much, but just a perfect depth in it. So they're getting the hang of it with 3D and stuff. But like you said, that's like a second note now. So who really cares about 3D? It's more about the quality of games, and it's delivering. So it's a lot more comfortable. You'd enjoy it.
I think I am going to invest in a Circle Pad Pro eventually because I think they just came out with the XL one.
But that's the thing, though. Like, holding an XL, like, it just feels like butter in my hands. And,
It is.
you know,
It's nice.
even with that, I mean, that Circle Pad Pro, eventually I'll probably need it for something, I would think.
I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't even see anything down the pipe. There's
Yeah, I know.
using 2 joysticks for.
I know.
And now that Revelations is coming to console, I really don't need it for that anymore.
Yeah, like I did like the original circle pad because I could use like RL and or whatever ZL or whatever Nintendo calls those secondary buttons. Some games would let you use those as like R and L, and
Yeah.
it's much more comfortable to use that. But
It was really comfortable. I loved it.
that
So,
that XL is like the perfect size for my hand. So
it is. The original model would get a little crampy. It's kind of small, but the XL is just perfect. Perfect fit. But anyways, how about we call it there? My nose is starting to get stuffed up like crazy, and I need to blow it. Should
Yeah.
we wrap this episode up?
I believe so.
Well, cool deal. Chance, it was awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Dustin,
Pleasure as always.
it was awesome. I wanted to mention to you guys, I did started playing my first Pokemon game today, but it was only for like 8 minutes, enough to like name my character and stuff. That's why I didn't mention it. But I named my rival in the game Chustin.
Justin.
After you guys. So you guys are my rival in Pokemon Yellow.
That's awesome.
Justin.
Our powers combined form Justin,
Go, Justin.
the douchiest Pokemon rival ever.
So
Yeah.
there you go. Hope that makes your day. So I'm going to take
Absolutely.
you guys down when I get to the top of the Pokemon League, I guess is what it is.
Which one did you start playing?
I'm playing Yellow.
Yellow.
That's the one I chose to go with. After all the advice I got from fellow YouTubers, I figured I'd
Sarah.
start there.
Yeah,
Sarah, Paige, I mean,
that's the only Pokemon game I
Danny.
ever owned. I got rid of it.
That's the only one you haven't owned?
That's the only one I did own.
Oh.
Like I got Pokemon Yellow when it came out, and then I was like, meh.
see now this got me talking on another story. Right, we're about to end. Because what got me into doing this was seeing that video of DM Jared doing the Nuzlocke challenge in Pokemon Fire Red. If no one knows what that means, it means basically he can only catch a Pokemon when he enters a new area. It's got to be the first one he sees, and if he already has that Pokemon, he can't capture it. And if he ever has a Pokemon faint, he has to release it. So pretty much you can run out of Pokemon in the game to play with. And it made it look so challenging and actually fun. But I'm not going to play that way because I'd fail, and I don't know the game like the back of my hand like he does.
Yeah.
But that's what made it actually look appealing to me and wanted
No,
me to
wait,
give it a try.
yeah, you want to play Pokemon that way, but you won't play Fire Emblem that way.
It was really like I was like that's too scary. That's why I didn't want to try it.
Oh boy.
My poor Fire
Wait till
Emblem
you start playing
characters.
some old Fire Emblems where they don't let you choose.
I know. I was playing through the Sacred Stone one, or no, the first one, and I think it was the third battle. I already lost somebody. Ticked me off. I was like, I can't get them back unless I reset. But, anyways, we're gonna end it now. Okay, Dustin, it was
Yeah.
cool. It was fun.
It was fun.
It's all right. I guess we'll go ahead and I'll take us out. Just thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for dealing with the cold and my nasally voice, but just continue, like I said, to ask us questions, write them down in the comments, comment on your thoughts on the episode, or games you've been playing, anything on the questions we've answered. You go ahead and answer them too. We like to hear stuff like that. So again, just thanks for watching or listening and tuning in, and stay tuned to episode 12. Hopefully it won't be as far as distance in between this one, since we should have the gears back in order now. So just thanks for tuning in, and say bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye bye. Oh, I gotta stop it.
Again.